All right, what is up, everybody in the Fandom Menace and beyond? It is I, Jesse Milestone, aka the God Empress of Mindless Entertainment, and I'm joined today by the amazing, talented Anna, that Star Wars girl.
Hello. Thank you.
All right, and we are excited to be bringing you episode 2 of the Matriarchy.
The Patriarchy. Heck no. The Matriarchy.
2 of the Matriarchy, the best show in the Fandom Menace. Let's just say it. Let's just put it out there. The best show in the Fandom Menace. And yeah, if you are joining us, that's awesome. Make sure you press the like button. And we go live at 2 p.m. Pacific every Wednesday. We alternate whether it's on my channel or Anna's channel. So last week we started off on Anna's channel, and now we're here on Mindless Entertainment. So, all right. Hi to the chat. Greg Kirby, Reed Mason, Jimmy Fopiano, Alejandro Cervantes, runs with Phantom. Is in here. Groans with Phantoms had pointed out that in our icon for the Matriarchy, how it looks like I'm holding a foil and not a saber, because a saber.
That's because that it's not finished being drawn yet. But I lost the Photoshop file, so I have to redraw.
Sorry, I said, how do you know? Because the one difference is that little curved part, right? And I was like, well, how do you know that wasn't just pointed towards me? And you couldn't say it. So Groans with Phantoms did accept that answer. Reed Mason is here. And shout out to me. We also did
a picture of yours. I could draw it exactly like the one you have.
I can do that. That would be helpful of me. I should probably be helpful and do that. I could just pull one off. I can just pull a generic looking one off the internet that looks, like the one that I use. All right, Anthony Sholey. We already thank you for our first super chat from Anthony Sholey. Says recast Pattinson with de-aged Kilmer. I'd fuck with that. Anna, what are your feelings on Batman Forever?
I actually like it. The only part I just remember when I was a kid thinking the part where she tries to seduce Batman on, like, she uses the bat signal. I just remember when I was watching it when I was a kid, and I was just super uncomfortable. But Batman Forever, that's the one with Val Kilmer and Jim Carrey, right? Jim Carrey's the Riddler.
Yeah, Jim Carrey's the Riddler. Tommy Lee Jones is Two-Face.
So I really like the Riddler character because I like riddles. And so when I'm like, I would go and hang, as long as he's not like going to kill me or kill anyone around me, if there's like some kind of truce, I would hang out with the Riddler, Like I would go if it's like a fan meetup kind of thing, like let's hang out with Batman villains. I could sit there and have like a couple drinks with the Riddler and him trying to give me riddles and me solve them. Because I remember when I was a kid and I was watching the animated show and he has to go up against the Riddler, and I'm like, I know that. I liked it.
I was such a fan. I thought it struck a really nice. That's Batman's first line in the movie. I thought it struck a really nice balance between the campiness of the old like Adam West and really the feel of the comic books and all the holy blank Batman and all that stuff with the with a little bit of the darkness, a lot of that sort of dark punky world building that they did with all the Danny Elfman, not Danny Elfman, he's the composer, Tim Burton stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, and we got thank you for the super sticker from Bobby James. If you guys check it out in the chat, it doesn't show up on here, but it is a pair in a sweatband holding up a sign that says fist bump. So thank you for the fist bump, Bobby James, and the super chat. Anna and I do tend to get caught up on some whirlwind rants sometimes. So if I'm not getting all the super chats right away, if they pile up a little bit, it's just because we're off on a good topic conversation, but we will get to all of them. So don't worry. That's for the future since we're not backed up right now. So speaking of Batman and the DC universe, big news this week if you are a Snyder fan. Big news. It has been officially confirmed now that we are going to get the Snyder Cut of the Justice League.
Yep. I know all the Snyder fans are happy.
I'm sure they are. Where do you fall on this? Where's your stance on this Snyder Cut?
Well, I personally don't like Zack Snyder. I mean, I'm appreciative of the fact that 300 exists in the world. I very much appreciate that existence of that. But I don't know. I feel like I don't like his movies. Like, I don't feel like he's a very good director. I don't like the way that he plots out stories. I feel like it either he tries something. The ideas are there. Like on paper, it should work. His execution, and it could not just I mean, I'm putting it on him because it's his movies, but I mean, there could be a bunch of other things that come into play, and so it's not 100% his fault. But I'm not a fan of his creative genius, which some people like, but I mean, I'm happy for the people that are excited about it. I'm all for seeing more of Henry Cavill. I was posting on Twitter today. I'm like, my uterus is just continuing to explode because he was on the live stream, and I'm just looking at him. And I'm like, oh my god, Henry Cavill. I'm excited to see more Henry Cavill in that Superman suit. I am a big fan of that. But I'm not a Zack Snyder fan at all. So. But I'm happy for everyone that you're getting their movie. I wish that something like that would happen with Star Wars, but
sure,
the
original.
What about you?
1977 cut. I am gonna blow my nose for a second because I'm having mega allergies today. So pardon me. I'm hoping my allergy will kick in soon so I can stop doing that because that's gross. So I think Snyder is a really gimmicky kind of director. I think he does really gimmicky kind of things, which worked for the 300 because it was sort of he was creating kind of a genre with that one. I think the stylized, and this is one other thing too. I do think that when these gimmicky kind of directors, I think it can be really dangerous when they're adapting. When you're adapting something specific and you're kind of staying true to the source material, I think that's why Watchmen worked out for him because he kind of stayed true to the material there.
I hated Watchmen, but I hated Watchmen before Zack Snyder made a movie of it.
That's fair. I'm not a huge fan. I've read the graphic novel. It's one of the few graphic novels I actually have read. I've read the graphic novel. I've seen the film. I thought both were fine. I'm not like gaga for either, but I don't dislike either one of them. Mm-hmm. I think that one-to-one adaptation, I think he did a good job. Like, even if I didn't enjoy it, even if I wasn't crazy for it, I do think he did a good job of adapting the source material. Now, I don't know too much about the 300, but I do know that a lot of the stuff in the movie is actually weirdly historically accurate, which I'm assuming was probably the case in the graphic novel. I'm assuming if you're adapting the graphic novel for the screen, you're not spending too much time going out and doing your extra historical research. So I'll say like that one-to-one adaptation, it seems like he's got sort of a knack for that. But it's based on his existing army of work. Even with the success of Man of Steel, I just don't think, like the technical success of Man of Steel, I think it was a little preemptive to sort of hand this whole, Snyderverse to him. So I'm with you. I don't think he's this genius that everyone says he's. I gotta say, Sucker Punch, even though it did really, really poorly, might be my favorite Zack Snyder film.
I remember when those commercials were coming out, and I'm like, this looks like something I'm never going to buy, watch, or have anywhere near my home or anything that I'm going to play a movie on.
I went to see it. On like $5 Tuesdays when I was in college, and it was actually really good. It was actually shockingly good. Female-led action film. Little nice twist in it. I thought it was clever without pulling the Rian Johnson thing where you can see him going, look how clever I am. I thought it was a lot of fun, and the soundtrack was really good. The soundtrack definitely made the film. That was one where I think like this whole, whatever this gimmicky little vision he had, he was able to. Brett Lerman, I think it's a good point. Sucker Punch was a long music video, but it was enjoyable. There was nothing wrong with that, I think, but again, these set pieces, these sort of gimmicky things, that was kind of the gimmick in that film. For me, it worked. But how do you feel about just getting more Justice League?
Well, they butchered the Justice League, and here's the thing. I understand that there was issues, and so Zack Snyder didn't get his movie, and then Josh Whedon didn't even get the cut that he wanted, but it doesn't excuse all the movies that came before that. Like, so out of all the DC, and I would never in a million years think to myself, oh my God, I'm not going to like a Superman movie, or, oh my God, I'm not going to like this Batman movie. That being said, and I've been very vocal about this. I think George Clooney is a better Batman than Batfleck. I fucking hate Batfleck. I think that's the worst. When you make me hate my favorite superhero, that does take a bit of talent. So Zack Snyder is talented in that, making me hate the things that I love. But Batman versus Superman, that was the stupidest fucking concept I've ever heard. It's even when they do go at it, and this is what I've said, if you watch the animated show, it's on the Superman animated series, not the Batman animated series. You want to do a Batman versus Superman movie? just do it based off that episode. If Zack Snyder is good at adaptations, I personally don't think he is, because I think, I don't know, maybe I'm just biased. When there's a director and it's like, oh, like this is a movie that I already know I'm not going to like because I know that their artistic takes in the way that they do things. And him and M. Night Shyamalan, I'm like, I won't. They're terrible. They're fucking terrible. But so he's the guy that made Batman versus Superman. I'm like, how fucking stupid do you have to be to think that that's going to be a good movie? Just looking at it for face value, I'm like, this is going to be fucking terrible. And it was. And then let's go do the Justice League. Also, let's make it Batman that wants to create the Justice League. It's like, bitch, what the fuck are you talking about? Batman doesn't want to create the Justice League. Batman is like anti-Justice League, but then he's like, this stupid, I don't want to do it. And then he's like, all right, well, I have to do it because I'm Batman, Mm-hmm. It's like, if you knew anything about Batman, you would know that. But the fact that it's got to be Batman creating the Justice, it's like, no, it was Superman and Jean. But anyways, I'm not happy about it.
I hear you. I got a couple of super chats, and I pulled up some more details in this article. It'll be really interesting. Good for Snyder fans, less good for, I don't know, the rest of us. But Runs with Phantom says, hail that mindless Star Wars entertainment. There you go. Nice portmanteau right there. And Beth says, oops, I'm late. Only, by the time you sent this in, only like 9 minutes late, Beth, so you're good. We started just a hair late ourselves, so you didn't miss much. We're just getting into it. We're talking about the Snyder Cut, the officially announced Snyder Cut. All right, reality check numero uno says hashtag hail the matriarchy, hashtag support the Phantom Menace. Excellent, excellent. So yes, no, I'm with you. I don't. Could Zack Snyder have put together a better movie if he had remained in charge? Maybe, but the reality is there were mistakes made before that. Now, personally, I'm a fan of Batfleck, but I understand the criticisms. I just like that he visually resembles, like, his Bruce Wayne kind of visually resembles the animated series the most.
I don't think so at all. When I look at him, because everyone's like, he got so yoked to play Batman, and I'm like, in the suit, it looks like he's fat. I'm like, I don't see muscle. I see, like, if a dad with the dad bod put on the Batman suit because he used to be Batman and now he's older and now he's putting on the bat suit. It's like he didn't look strong. He just looked like he had too much pizza. And I know a lot of people are like, oh yeah, he got so in shape for the role, and I'm like, It didn't work. I'm like, that dude is gonna run out of breath. That dude needs to go on a treadmill, get some cardio done.
So he and did we lose Anna? Anna just froze. We just lost Anna. Anna is froze. So we got hashtag fat bat, hashtag fat fleck. Greetings, Loch Ness Mobster. The winner, right? Of Rando Calrissian snuck up to win, but the leader in our game on Monday for a lot of
I don't think he looked anything like the enemy.
Oh god, that was weird. Okay, are you back?
Okay, was it just me?
Yeah, you were frozen, and then you unfroze, and half of what you said just caught up in Super Chipmunk voice, and then you came.
That's weird. Maybe it's the construction in my house, but I thought, because you froze, and then the screen went black, and I was like, what the?
Yeah, Jimmy Fabiano's blaming Mr. Freeze. That's allowed. Oh, there she goes again on the worst picture imaginable. I have to take a screenshot of this. She's going to hate me for this. Oh my God. And if you can hear me, I just took the worst screenshot of your face ever. Yep, you froze again. So, hoes be crazy. You got it, Alejandro Cervantes. Hoes be crazy. Well, I brought this headline up because I really wanted to hear Anna's reaction to it, to more details about the Snyder Cut. But I don't want to read it, if she's all froze, because I want to see her reaction. So I assume she's going to be annoyed by this. But, we'll just wait. The day is young. Nice to meet you. Jesse, save the day. Osmosis, I'll do what I can. All right, are you back, Anna?
I think so. I don't know what's going on. It shows up on my computer that the internet's fine.
I don't know if you saw the picture that your face froze on this last time.
I did not.
All right. I took
Oh my God, I have my mouth open.
Did you see it? Did you see it?
I just clicked over.
Cool. I took a screenshot because I thought, you'd probably want that one day. Mr. Another, thank you for the super chat. He says, may the Raylo be with you both, JK. Thanks for the JK on that, Mr. Another. Thank you for that super chat. No, I think the official matriarchy hashtag should probably be never go full Raylo.
Raylo is just needs to be something that goes away and dies
forever. And Beth says, Anna, stop angering the gods of PooTube.
I'm sorry.
And Jesse says, bitches, if you're here, please make sure you press the like button. My stats are not loading, so I don't know how many likes this stream has, but I'm going to refresh and find out, because it says we only have 31 concurrent views, which is also a lie. So, all right. Where were we? Oh, I was going to read you this headline about a little more of the details regarding said Justice League, and I hope that it entertainingly angers you. Yeah, we only have 55 likes. We can definitely do better than that. We can definitely get to 100.
Everyone smash the like button. There's let me just click over. 94 people here. Everyone smash the like button. There should be 96 now likes on here. Smash like button.
At least. All right. So, and we got a couple super chats rolling in, so thank you guys. I will get to these real soon. I'm just going to share this article real quick here. All right, so we've got, it will be an entirely new thing. Zack Snyder's 20 million plus Justice League cut plans revealed. So he is getting his cut. He is getting it. That was one of the big points of discussion was, purportedly he was only 90% of the way done or something with what he wanted to shoot. So, or wanted to have, I don't know if there were more reshoots that needed to be done, or if it was just post-production stuff or a combination thereof. Which the big question was, is this project getting any more money, or is it just going to be chopping in, test footage, incomplete footage, stuff like that? So it looks like it could be $20 million plus dollars being sunk into the Snyder Cut, which will debut on HBO Max, possibly in a 4 hours director's cut or in 6 TV-style chapters, as the Helmer gets the gang back together, the original post-production crew, to score, cut, and finish visual effects. So there you go.
And I think that they said something about having to reshoot things or shoot more scenes for it or something.
Well, when he says get the gang back together, it does certainly sound like they're going to be able to do that if they need to. I didn't know this. I knew that that's the release, the Snyder Cut, standers were pretty passionate, but I didn't realize that they had gotten a billboard in Times Square and chartered a plane to fly a banner over Comic-Con. I didn't know that. So that's exciting.
So Zack Snyder was doing like a watch along live stream with fans for Man of Steel, and then he brought on Henry Cavill, and then he showed his screen, which was the billboard of release the Snyder Cut, and that's when everyone started losing their shit.
Nice. It sounds like Gal Gadot and Ben Affleck have also gotten on board as well. So also let's see. It is unclear. It is currently unclear what form Snyder's Justice League will take, whether it be released in almost 4 director's cut or split into 6 chapters, blah. Reassembling much of their original post-production crew to score, cut, add new and finish old visual effects, and yes, maybe bring back many of the actors to record additional dialogue. $20 to $30 million range. So who's going to fund this? Is Zack Snyder funding this? Is HBO funding this? Who's actually going to put up the money to do this? And also, then where does that come? How does that sit within things like copyright?
AT&T, I believe, bought. It's going to be on HBO Max, which has not released yet. It's the new upcoming thing. So they're trying to sell everyone on get the HBO Max. So AT&T now, I believe, I'm not entirely sure on it. So because AT&T is in charge now of this, that's why it's going to be happening. So the things that they were not allowed to do under Warner Brothers, now since AT&T owns everything, so now AT&T is going to do that, which I think is a really smart move on them, because it's like fans have been screaming about this for years now to release the Snyder Cut, release the Snyder Cut. It's like, well, we got a Snyder Cut of every other of his movies. Were they good? Absolutely fucking not. But it, I guess they want to make more people happy, and they see how many people like that kind of stuff. So they're like, oh, let's give the fans what they want because, we're probably going to make money off of this, which is a very smart decision. So it's going to be released on HBO Max, not going to theaters. And because it's not going to theaters, I believe the actors get like a different cut from things when a movie is released in theaters. Like they get a residual from that. So because it's not releasing in theaters and it's going to be just straight to HBO Max, I think that the funding for it is going to be significantly cheaper because they don't have to pay all the actors those residuals.
Sure. Definitely makes a difference in it definitely, especially as it sounds like they're not going to need too much from the actors.
I feel like it's one of those things like everyone at Disney was like, oh, get Disney Plus because we're gonna have the Mandalorian, and so I feel like this is their thing, like this is their version of the Mandalorian for HBO Max.
I guess so. I mean, this is their hook, this is their reason to do it, which, I mean, you need something stronger than the Snyder Cut to really mass appeal to people, because there's plenty of people, you and
the HBO Max. I think that's like one to like, hey, nerd fandom that you guys have been pissed off because we keep fucking with your movies. Come to us now.
Well, because they're getting the Warner Brothers catalog, right? That's
I believe so. Yes.
The whole shtick.
Well, also so they did this a while ago. I'm blanking on the exact date, but I'm a huge Quentin Tarantino fan. How do you feel about him?
I wouldn't call myself a Tarantino fan. I'm definitely, I would say that I am hit or miss. I take him case by case.
Okay. Well, so I personally, the Hateful Eight?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I always get that one mixed up with that really bad Chris Pratt movie where they're like the cowboys and stuff. For some reason, I always accidentally try to say that name instead of the actual name. But so that movie, The Hateful Eight, I didn't like it very much when I watched it in theaters. Like, there's things that I liked about it, but the overall thing, I was just like, this could have been a lot better. But so it actually got released on Netflix, but it was, significantly longer with hour-long, if not longer, episodes. So he expanded upon it. So he put in all the stuff that he wanted to, that he had to cut down for theaters. So, but nobody really talked about that. And I'm like, oh, I guess I'm the only one that watches that kind of stuff. But I feel like that, since they're advertising it on HBO, I feel like, especially with the Snyder name behind it and having those extra scenes and stuff with, mega movie stars like Batfleck, like Henry Cavill, like Gal, like Jason Momoa, I'm like, I could do this. I could watch it, but probably not going to like it.
That's fair. I mean, I do think that turning it into something like, because I think if you're going to do, I think that you have an opportunity, even if you only do like a 4-hour special, if you don't do this 6, but I think they're going to go the route. I think they'll do the 6-episode thing. And I think they'll even make a full season of something out of it. So they'll probably add episodes of the making of, or maybe little companion pieces at the end of each episode of like the making of this, why we wanted this, how the changes came about, why we didn't do it this way initially, or what the struggles were, stuff like that. The stuff people really get into, especially, and so that's interesting that you said, like you said, because of the names attached to it, and because of the property and the way it's going to be formatted, that could be interesting to just your average, film goer, movie buff. You don't even have to necessarily be the superhero movies, don't even have to necessarily be into the Justice League, but it's the kind of presentation that could pique people's curiosities. So that definitely.
Well, also, it's like, even if they did like an interview like with the actors after, like, oh, Henry Cavill, how did you feel during this scene, and then this, and then you can have it like when it's a big compilation scene, like how he was doing for The Witcher, because he is fantastic at promoting things. When he's just like reading the first, like, I don't know, the little story from The Witcher, and he's just sitting there reading it and showing scenes. If they do commercials for the Justice League, I will be watching it. I mean, they could do that. They could add on little specials. They could add on. Do you remember when we were kids and like the Disney movies, after you watch the end credits, it's that hour-long special of the animators and showing how they concept.
I love
If
that.
they did that for this, and then talking about, oh, this was the process of how the Snyder Cut came to be, that would be great too. I feel like that would be actually more entertaining to watch than the actual.
Probably. I mean, covering all that, like having an episode, even, covering all of that and like the crazy fan hype and the billboard and all that stuff. Yeah, that'd be a lot of fun. That could be, I'm getting more as we're talking. The more I'm talking about it, even though I didn't need it and don't need any more Justice League in my life ever, the more I'm getting it's sold on the Snyder Cut. And then it might be worth taking a peek at.
I already had the Justice League. I had the animated show, the Justice League, and then the Justice League Unlimited. So I've had it.
Sure.
So I don't necessarily need to see it. It's like when a movie comes out and it's like, oh, that's cool that they made that, but I didn't need that in my life to like fill that tick. It wasn't something that I had never seen before. So
I grew up on the animated Justice League as well, but I was always a much bigger Batman fan than anybody else, and so I didn't like how Superman was the leader of the Justice League, and I was like, Batman's better anyway. So I never got like super into it. I was always like, whatever, Batman rules.
I like Superman. I like both of them, but I think it makes sense more like Batman is a loner. He likes to be in his Batcave. He likes to be investigating. And so to be part of that team as a loner myself, I'm just like, I completely understand that. And, Superman, he's like, he wants to bring everyone together. He wants to get on the same page. Superman is that type of leader, figurehead type of person. And that's just his personality. So it makes more sense. So to do it this way, I just...
Oh, man. Oh, we got a bunch of super chats here. Let's rock through these and we'll get into our next topics. We got Hauticus Maximus saying, can we get Arnold as Mr. Freeze again? I'd like to see him do it seriously. I think it would be good. I think he'd have a lot of fun reprising Mr. Freeze. I think that would be a lot of fun. All right. Atechi-san says, gun to head, Anna. Make out with Karth or Kylo Ren?
Shoot me.
Who is Karth?
He is the epitome of all of my fucking pain and anger and rage in my life. And I discovered who Karth was when I was playing Knights of the Old Republic for the first time. Karth is one of your companions. Jesse, this is me. Oh, I have to go on this mission? Okay, my character's walking. Every 5 seconds, it stops you to like zoom in on Karth. And it's like, Karth, something's bothering Karth. Talk to him. And it's like, okay, let me talk to Karth. And it's like, I have all this stuff inside me that I need to talk about, but I don't want to talk about it. And it's like, oh my fucking God, then stop freezing the fucking game every 5 minutes to talk about your feelings that you don't want to fucking talk about. I want Karth to die.
This sounds
I hate Karth. I started this when I was playing KOTOR. And I'm sorry, I know I have a hot Cheeto in my mouth, but I was just like, I wanted to make, I think I actually might make a t-shirt that has him on it. And it just says, hashtag, shut the fuck up, Karth. He's the worst. He is the worst.
Can we talk about, though, how you just said t-shirt?
I had a hot Cheeto right here in my mouth, and I was trying to not open my mouth wide enough for everyone to see me chewing.
I'm just excited that you said t-shirt. It made me happy.
T-shirt?
T-shirt. My t-shirt.
Buy my t-shirt.
Buy my t-shirt. Buy it. Buy it, bitches. Johnny Twilly says, keep fighting the power. Smash like. Thank you, Johnny Twilly. Thank you for being here. Thank you for that amazing super chat. Really appreciate it. We appreciate all of you guys. Thank you for watching us have a good time. And yes, do smash the like button, press the like button, kick the like button wherever you like. It's, it's there. It's there for you. It's there for whatever you want. Oh man. Runs with Phantom says, the force is gender fluid. We are one with the agenda, and the agenda is with us. This is the soy. Soy. Oh God, this is the soy.
Karth is full of soy.
Oh yes. 97 Bravo says, Anna, check your Twitter notifications.
I did, and I retweeted it. It was a screenshot of how my face was frozen.
Yes. Oh, excellent. I'm so pleased. Thank you. Thank you for being on that, 97 Bravo. Andre Johnson said the super sticker. It's a pair who says #1. He's our #1 fan.
Oh,
it's cute.
And Karth is in game 2. I see Jeremy Waffles. He's in the first KOTOR game. To my displeasure, I discovered he's in this fucking second game too. I'm like, I can't escape this asshole.
He's there. He's just following you.
He's always there. He's always fucking there.
Oh God. Mr. Another says, would one or both of you do a watch along for Captain Marvel?
We did. I feel like our service to the world was that we both watched the unicorns.
We did.
That is enough Brie Larson. I'm not doing anymore.
That's plenty. Oh, speaking of, I made Jeff watch this movie from my childhood last night. That I didn't realize until much later that it actually has Brie Larson in it. It's called Sleepover.
I love Sleepover.
Brie Larson is like, what? She's the queen bee of the bitch chicks.
Oh my god, I have to Google that. The one thing, like, I remember when I was younger and when that movie came out and they have the little smart car and they go do that.
Oh my god!
I realized though, it didn't hit me that those girls are in 8th grade and he's like a junior in high school. I'm like, this is fucking weird.
Dude, but that whole movie and Jeff the whole time is like, what the fuck? Like, these are 8th graders. This is so messed up.
I know. I'm like, this is making me so uncomfortable. Okay, so I thought the leader of the bad. Oh my god.
Well, because there was the one chick that used to be friends with the main characters, and she goes off to be friends with the bad girls, and Brie Larson is like the head of the bad girls.
Is that her? I thought the leader of the bad girls. She was Aquamarine. I thought.
I think that was just the ex-friend. Because she wasn't the leader. She sort of was the ringleader of it and whatnot, but she was like the ex-friend. It was like,
that was Aquamarine, and then they have their friends. I'm trying to find it.
I'm just telling you, Google Brie Larson Sleepover, you'll find her. And surprise,
that
surprise.
dude in that movie, though, he was cute. I never saw him in anything else, though.
He was super cute. I do.
The creepiest thing, though, is when they go into the club to talk to the teacher.
Right? Oh, my God. The teacher buys her a drink. Oh, God.
As a grown-up, going back and watching it, I was like, what the fuck?
Right? Imagine if you were in that situation as an adult and you're like, I could go to so much jail for this. All of the jail.
God, that is Brie Larson.
This was back when before they surgically removed her ability to smile too. It's a mean smile, but she does it every now.
No, this is 100% before she got plastic surgery. Here, can you share my screen?
Yeah.
Oh my God! So for those of you that don't know, that if you ever watch Spy Kids, the sister in Spy Kids, this was like one of the little movies. So this is Brie Larson's character, and this is her before she had a nose job, before she had work done.
She almost looks a little like Rachel McAdams right there in that particular picture.
On this one?
No, on that one. Just like just a tiny little bit.
So this is the Aquamarine. I feel like all of them have been in stuff since then.
Mm-hmm.
But, oh my God. My whole childhood. Oh yeah, I remember her in 13 going on 30.
I love that movie.
But this is Brie Larson, guys.
Yep.
Job pre-plastic surgery.
Trying to have bangs, which as you can see did not really work out for her 5 head. Yeah.
I think if she did this, well, Zooey Deschanel, it works on her because she has blue eyes, but if she did like the straight across bangs with like brown hair, maybe
that might work. It's kind of looking, well, it really looks like Brie Larson's forehead's too big for one thing, and two, she doesn't have very thick hair. So I don't know. It might look too stringy if she tried it.
I mean, they have extensions. She can afford them.
That's true.
There's sometimes when I've seen her hair where it looks really good. There was one interview she did where her hair it's in a ponytail, but it's one of those like plastered to your head ponytails, and it's like this, like across her forehead. Uh-huh. And I thought her stylist and makeup person did a really good job. Also, here she is with straight across. That's a little better. But again, nose job she got her chin done, which I think is the weirdest thing. She made her chin shorter.
Yeah, that's weird.
It's the weird, like the most bizarre thing to do to yourself.
Really makes her 5 head stand out more.
But anyways, I did not realize. I haven't watched that movie in like over a decade. So
I made Jeff suffer through it.
I did not.
It was late. I was tired and feeling nostalgic. These things happen. Mr. Another says, thank you both for liking my Jabba Leia BDSM affair theory, and thanks for putting up with me.
Oh.
That's no problem. Have you not heard this theory of his?
I have not.
That Leia actually was really into it. They were actually having a consensual BDSM relationship, and she strangles him to death because he forgot his safe word.
Oh.
So I do enjoy that.
It's still a better love story than Raylo.
It is. Oh god, we might have done that. That might have come up last week. We were talking about that. Might have been when he brought this theory up. Was when we were talking about the Raylos last week.
Probably.
Hashtag never go full Raylo. Beth says a 4-hour version of an already crappy film. Isn't that just what I always wanted?
I know. I'm with you on that, Beth. But I'm happy for everyone else. I'm excited to see because one thing Zack Snyder will do, which I'm 100% appreciative of. I don't care if they're CG. I really like male anatomy. I love it. That's my favorite thing to look at. And so when I watch 300, I'm over here like my uterus is so happy. Right. Seeing Henry Cavill come out of like the ocean and he's trying to like get the clothes off the hangers, but he's in like the ripped up pants and he's shirtless. I'm like, my uterus is very happy. The Jason Momoa half in the water. I'm like, yes, my body is ready. So I'm excited for those scenes if they are in the movie. I love that kind of fan service. My uterus does too. So, but yeah, crappy movie, but there are some things in it like I appreciate.
Indeed. Yeah, where was the next super chat? I just lost it. Yeah, I'm with you on that. And here's a question that I had. Do you think the Snyder Cut involves more or less attempts at humor?
Probably less, because if you think about like Man of Steel and the other movies that Zack Snyder directed, there's not very much humor. And so I think there's going to be a lot less, because I remember thinking about that in Man of Steel, like, because we got, Marvel and stuff, and there's so much humor in that. That's kind of Marvel's thing, is like they're not adult movies, they're not kid movies, they're family movies. So certain jokes you can get at certain ages. And so that's one of Marvel's charms, is that it keeps you entertained and it's fun. Whereas Zack Snyder's the exact opposite. He wants to go full on dark, depressing, emo shit. And so there's not a lot of humor in that. So I think that there will be a lot less humor. Like Aquaman leaning back on Wonder Woman's lassos, talking about how hot she is. I don't think that's
just going, because that's one thing that definitely, there are things like the humor in Aquaman worked because you had a more seamless, production approach. Same thing. Wonder Woman. Zack Snyder wrote that. He did not direct Wonder Woman though, and I think that
Wonder Woman is the only one I like.
It's lighter, it is funnier.
The jokes are clever in Wonder Woman.
The jokes are, it's cleverly written, and so I think, when you got this sort of like, because you did have this clash of Zack Snyder's brooding emo darkness and Joss Whedon's sort of quippy ability to play ensemble characters off each other, and those two visions, while on their own. Now, I'm not sure I see a world in which Zack Snyder's dark, drippy emo universe really ever pulls through for DC the way they want to. Now, an offshoot where they're all just much more mature style movies geared towards like a slightly older audience. Now, if you do that, everything's got to be super edgy. It's got to be like Suicide Squad has to actualize and deliver on the promise of what the trailers teased, and everything has to be that level of punchy, fun, but like edgy and dark, and bring out real and serious issues. And I think one of the places where, Snyder's vision falls short in the DC EU is the DC characters are a lot more like black and white, in their molds than the Marvel characters. A lot more flexibility and shades of gray in Marvel. And so when you're taking these more blocky black and white established known entities, and you're trying to introduce this darkness and this grittiness, but you're not shifting the characters enough that they make sense in that world, that's where I think his vision kind of falls flat. It's like you're changing fundamental things about characters without any justification. Superman killing people, Batman just shooting up guns everywhere, like these things that are inherent parts of what makes these characters good. You're not justifying why you've made those changes. You're just asking us to go along with it. And without the justification, we're not going to get on that train.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where it's like, in theory, with the right writer and with the right director, it could be done well. If somebody else did Man of Steel, somebody else wrote Man of Steel, and it's like, you have to follow the same premise. This character has to die. This has to happen. Yeah. And it's like, okay, do it. And if you have, just 10 people, you have to go into your own little room. Like if it was like obviously Jeff's in the room with you. So it's like, if me, you, and Jeff were given, like, here's Man of Steel, rewrite it, exact same premise, but fix it. If all of us went into our own little corner of the room, we're not allowed to talk to each other. We all come back at the end of the day. Every single one of our scripts or our stories and our plots are going to be completely different, even though it has to begin the same, has to end the same. It's going to be completely different. So I think it could have been done well. It really could have. But again, I don't think Zack Snyder is the person that can execute things well like that. I don't think he is the man for the job. And I mean, you can see some movies that have, done, like I see somebody saying Christopher Nolan. Now, I like Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight. I'm one of the few people that doesn't like Batman Begins, and I hated The Dark Knight Rises, but I like The Dark Knight. Not all of Christopher Nolan's movies do I think are good. I don't think he's the creative genius everyone thinks that he is. He's very good at his job, but there are some things that I'm like, you do realize if you change this one thing or this other one thing completely debunks all of your other problems in the movie. That's something that I'm like, it takes me out of the movie. So with Zack Snyder doing this, it could have been done well. It really could have. It could have been this great thing and not, making me somebody who loves these characters. Like, I know you said you're not the biggest Superman fan. I love Superman. So me watching that movie, I was like, it's okay. I've only watched it, I think, once or twice maybe. But I could have watched that if it was done by a different director and somebody else that wrote it, and I could have loved it. You could have sold me on, this is how, like, Superman came to be. This is why his father died. This is why A, B, and C, and D happened. But Zack Snyder, I don't think, is the man for the job. And I've said that exact same thing about The Mandalorian. I think that Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, they're yes men. They're like, when you're plotting out ideas, like, let's do this, let's do this, let's do this. But when it comes to actually making it happen, it falls flat.
Yeah. So especially putting the two together I think can be really dangerous, which actually brings me into some of the stuff I want to talk about, which is, I think that's exactly what happened when it came to The Mandalorian season 2. Now we just catch up on a few more of these super chats and we'll jump into some of this new news regarding The Mandalorian season 2 and its theoretical spin-offs. So we have from Runs with Phantoms, if Batman Beyond has ever made live action, Michael Keaton had better play old Bruce or I'll lose it.
I have been saying that for years now.
That would be great. I think that would be
well, even if they did Kingdom Come, Jesse, do you know what that is, or have you read that?
I haven't.
So Kingdom Come is by Alex Ross. He did the art for it. So it's basically set in the future, so they're all older. And Batman, because he's been fighting his entire life, his entire body are in these braces, so he can he has to have that help to move. So he's an old man. And then Superman and Wonder Woman are married, and it's they have kids and stuff, and it's in the future. But and by Mark Waid. Yeah, so fuck Mark Waid, but I mean, it's I love the art for it. I think a lot of people do like that version, but even if they did that, you could still bring Michael Keaton back, Yeah. And we obviously, you can't bring Christopher Reeves back, but
these things happen. Things happen. But no, I'd be down for. I think if anyone's gonna play an old Bruce Wayne, I like Michael Keaton for it, even though he's not my favorite Bruce Wayne or Batman by a long shot. Tyler Preston, what's up?
Am I talking about the wrong? Oh, somebody said they don't have kids. Am I talking about the wrong damn story? Because I remember all the fucking kids running around. I had to read this damn thing. Let's see.
All right. In the meantime, Tyler Preston, thank you for the super chat. I just got out of a Twitch stream from Chud Logic white knighting the Twitch deer. He unironically called Doomcock stupid for his persona. Well, clearly he doesn't understand the persona or how well it works for Doomcock. Now, I may not be the world's biggest Doomcock supporter, but certainly you can't deny what works. What is this Twitch deer? I've been hearing about this Twitch something. Other people said stuff about it too. Do you know anything about this Twitch deer?
I do. I'm trying. Am I talking about the wrong damn book? Because I remember this scene where Batman is sitting down and Superman and Wonder Woman are going to tell him that they're going to get married, and he says, "I know." And I remember this image again. It's been years since I've actually held this book, but I remember there's like kids, and they had kids. Am I thinking about the wrong book? Okay, so if anyone answers me in the chat, so Twitch got this this lady, this lady who was not born a lady, but now she's transitioning. And she is a furry that identifies as a deer. And so she became part of the Twitch safety, and she was doing gaming live streams, and she was talking about how she wants to remove as a member of Twitch's safety, that she feels like all of the gamers are just white, like all the male gamers are actually white supremacists. And so when you're gaming against people, when you have voice, like, because people talk when they're playing video games, you got the headset and, you're gaming, you're talking to your friends and you're live streaming it. She says that having a male voice gives you an advantage. And so that needs to be taken away, because that's not fair to everyone that does not have a masculine voice. And there's a lot of things, but I know people who know this person in real life, and what I've said is everything you have seen online, that's normal. Wow. And when you know the real stuff, it's even worse. So deergasm. Oh yeah, so she said that she likes to go outside and eat grass. She also has deergasms when people like pet her. And so it's like it's like one of those things where it's like this person needs like serious mental help, because there's people that are going through transitions that you can have conversations with, and it's not saying that doing that you have mental problems, because that's 100% not true, not in the absolute slightest. I've said before, I know people that are transitioning or have transitioned, and they're not like this. So this is such a terrible representation for the trans community, because they literally went and picked somebody that has serious mental issues to do this, to represent them, and it's an insult to anyone that is trans. But once you look at it, Jesse, you're going to lose your mind.
I'm reading about this as you're telling me about this, and I am losing my mind. Let's see. There's nothing is fucking loading on here right now. All right, let's see if this will load. My internet's so slow today. I can't.
And they're saying it's a stag, not a doe. Yeah, here's my stance on it, though. It's like, if you want to identify as this animal, you want to have this animal as what you are, as your species on your passport, then you have to live the way that animal does. You can't have electricity. You can't live in a house. You have to go live out in nature and scavenge. And because she is identifying as a male deer, she's got to be, she's got to be a buck.
Yeah, so here's this person. Let's see what's up.
Pow, 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 pow. Get him, Muds. Roar on him. Chomp him. Go full lion. Just. Eat him. Eat him. Eat him whole.
What the fuck? What is?
Yeah.
What is even happening?
Then you're never gonna come back unless you spend more time making a second account. But we'll be that too. You better watch out.
This is like a tame one. You need to find the one where she's talking about white supremacists.
Where she's talking about what?
How male gamers are all white supremacists.
So I am upset by this human being's existence. But it also, I mean, even just the article that I just clicked through and whatnot, it's clear that it is reveling in this attention.
100%.
And you know what? That's nice for the deer person. I don't even know. This is a born a man, trans woman / deer. All right. I'm with you though. It is absolutely wrong for Twitch to make this person a poster child for their new acceptance nonsense. I mean, like, do your fucking research seriously. Like, if you ever wanted to make yourself, to me, this is if that person wants to exist and do their own shit, that's fine. If people want to go give them attention and hate, that's fine. I think it's ridiculous. If it comes up, I'll talk about it. I'm not afraid to say what I think about it. I think this person is just a seriously disturbed, probably very attention hungry individual. But the whole thing is like, they're just, everyone going and like harassing them is just making it worse. It's just keeping them in the limelight and giving them more attention.
I don't know if this person is necessarily getting harassed or not, because
they claim they're being harassed.
Oh, well,
or somebody claims or whatever. There is a
well, but that's why I say prove it. Like, anytime somebody actually is harassing me, you guys know, if you follow me on Twitter, I retweet it, I share my screenshot. So I'm like, if you are getting harassed, show me.
It's not that hard.
Show me the evidence, you know?
And it wouldn't surprise me if she was, but she doesn't care. She doesn't seem to care. She's just rolling.
No, she's reveling in it. I think that's why she started saying like the crazy stuff like, all male gamers are white supremacists, and she's going to put an end to that. She wants to get rid of voice, because
it favors men.
Voice there. She wants to get rid of all of that. So, and I'm just like, what is the color of your skin? And, you know. Yeah,
exactly. It's wow. Well, now I know about the deer, the Twitch deer, and my life is a little lesser for it. So if you're just joining us,
wait, you haven't even seen the worst of it.
I don't want to see anymore. Make sure you press the like button for to make us feel better about having to deal with the deer. The Twitch deer, that was an adventure. In the meantime, Mr. Another has an equally upsetting thing. He's got a marry, fuck, kill for us. Supergirl, Batwoman, or Rey Skywalker. Oh, not Skywalker. Not Skywalker. Okay, Anna, do you...
Well... I would kill Rey.
I'm killing Rey, absolutely.
I would kill Rey. Okay, here are my weighing between Batwoman and Supergirl. Okay, so here's the thing. Batwoman is a lesbian, so she knows what she's doing. So I'm assuming that she's had lesbian sex before, so she might know how to be good at that. But then I'm like, okay, she's related to Bruce Wayne, so maybe she can introduce me to Bruce Wayne. And also it's like, but Supergirl's got powers, but what does she, so maybe I'll sleep with Batwoman and marry Supergirl, so Supergirl can be and it can be one of those fake marriages where, we can just be best friends, and I now pronounce you Chuck and Larry. And so you benefits and get like government benefits from that and all that stuff. And she just can hey, honey, can you go fly me to Hawaii? And she's like, yeah, sure. We'll be there in an instant. So I can get benefits from marrying Supergirl. And then it'll be a fake marriage, like a sham marriage. And because I let Batwoman do weird shit to me, she can introduce me to Bruce Wayne, and I could have like an actual relationship with Bruce Wayne. So you got to think about the logic behind this decision. So I'm going with marrying Supergirl, fucking Batwoman, and killing Rey.
Well, I'm killing Rey because Rey needs to die. Obviously. I guess I'm gonna fuck Supergirl just because Ruby Rose is my legitimate gay crush. If I were gay, she'd be the woman I'd be in love with crush. So I'm gonna marry her because that sounds like optimal situation for me. So I got to get on that right now if I want Ruby Rose's Batwoman, I guess. Because that does sound like an optimal situation for me.
That's perfect. And then you're married to Batwoman, and then you're even more of an in for me to meet Batman.
There you go. And then Supergirl can help get me those nice perks too.
Supergirl can introduce me to Superman.
There you go.
Oh my God, the options are all. Oh my God.
And by the way, Ray's dead and we're all happy.
So and you get extra benefits from the government if you are in a civil union, you know?
I would, there you go. That's the way it should be, right? I'm trying to find these couple. My thing is being a pain in the ass about loading. So let me pull up a couple of supers that I missed out in the chat. So let's see if we can get these and if they're gonna actually. Nope, that's not working.
Somebody said, I laughed that Ray is dead in most of the chat. Nobody wants anything to do with Ray.
Nobody. Why? She's just in the way.
What's she gonna do? Come in and have her mouth like this?
That's the only face she knows how to make. So
what if she accidentally puts her hand out and like it sucks like the life out of me or something? I don't know.
That would be upsetting. She could easily do things like that.
Bitch got so many fucking people killed. She deserves to die.
Yeah, she's pretty useless. Why is this unlimited ads? This is dumb. I'm trying to find. Oh my god.
What are you looking for?
I'm trying to get back so my super chats weren't loading on my list. So I'm gonna try to.
Okay, you look that. I will talk. I will read the chat. Ray is boring. Anna wants to be Superman's sidekick. Crypto. I do not want to be a sidekick. He can go save the world. I just want. I want to reenact the scene from Titanic where Leo draws as one of the French girls, and I just want to say, Henry Cavill, Superman, can you just lay there and I can draw Superman in his full glory, please and thank you.
Hooray! Oh man.
I went to Batman too, not Batfleck though. God no.
Give me one sec. I'm just gonna check on my internet connection. So.
Okay, I'll just keep babbling, and you guys will have to listen. So, Kiss will probably suck the life out of you. Oh, yeah. Ray's dying. There's no in the fuck, marry, kill scenario. If Ray is in it, she is dying. I like that headshot of Jessie. That's a nice headshot of her. Look at her being all smug. That's a good one. Click that lesbian and confirmed. I am not a lesbian. Nope. I like men. Very much so. I've never been attracted to a woman. Let's see. Jeremy's video on that Twitch deer was a gold mine for Jeremy's reaction. Oh God, I haven't seen it yet, but I am sure anyone reacting to that, everyone's first experience looking at Steph and her deerness is very unique. You good? Everything good?
Yeah, I'm just trying to. It's not loading. So, all right, I'm like looking through literally every way to look at my super chats because there's the control room on your in the studio. There's the live chat out here, and but it only scrolls up a certain amount. And then there's but there's two super chats in the ether there that aren't coming up. But when I click on viewer activity on live control room where it usually shows your super chats, it's just not loading. It says no super chats, no new super chats or members yet. I can't scroll up far enough in the live chat.
Scroll back and
I've gone back, I've gone out, I've gone in.
Beth said, when is open season again?
Yeah, so that one I can see, or not that one.
Beth again, Twitch.
That one I can
is a transgender woman who thinks she's a male deer. She wears antlers. Only male deer have antlers. Hashtag confused. Hashtag what the fuck. Yep. Irony. Isn't that a funny thing?
This one I have too. But yeah, this is so confusing. Twitch deer is a transgender woman who thinks she's a male deer. So yes, you took this time to transition from male to female, which but you want to portray yourself as a male animal. That just seems like you have no idea what you're doing. If you were really, because that's the thing, it's like if you were really trans deer, you'd want to be the deer, not be like, well, I guess I gotta wear antlers so y'all know I'm a deer. It's not. That's the whole thing. It's not about, none of this is actually about being anything. It's all about running around telling people, what you are, telling people what they're supposed to think about you. When is open season again? Beth, I don't know, but when I find out, we'll go a deer hunting.
Guys just got their license.
Yay. So there you go. We'll go hunt us some deer. So that catches us up, but there's still 2 super chats floating in the ether that I did not get.
Did you get Brian's Starkey?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Brian Starkey said, "Shut up, Malin. I'm trying to talk to the lady."
That was one of the ones that I missed. Is Malin being a distraction?
Scott said, # release this the Smatcher cut.
Schumacher cut.
Schumacher.
That should be the next thing that we're calling for now. I wonder if there is a Schumacher cut. Joel Schumacher did. He did Forever and Batman and Robin. So.
That Batman and Robin.
So where we were getting, yes, those were the 2 we missed. So thank you for catching me up on those. Where did you find those?
Just on the live chat. I just scrolled back.
Mine wouldn't scroll back far enough. Awesome. All right. Well, that's cool. I'm glad we got those. All right. I will try to keep up with these since apparently if I lose them, I'm not gonna be able to find them again. Yes. So, we were gonna jump over to talking about our yes men and talking about the new stuff that's coming out now about Star Wars, our streaming television shows. And I think that yes manning is probably where the season 2 went. Let's have them sit down and Filoni. Hey, what if we put this character from Clone Wars in? Yeah, and from Rebels. Yeah, and what if we use this as a jumping off point for my new Rebels show? Yeah, that sounds good. It sounds great. Let's do it. So, and then what do we have? We have 8,000 different cameos and 2 new shows now announced for Disney Plus. So, yeah, I
had a really good theory on it. You should tell everyone again.
I did. So my theory, and this is, I think, is most pieces of it have now been more or less confirmed, was that this was going to be Ahsoka, her spinoff, picking up where Rebels left off, with her and Sabine going to look for Ezra
and Thrawn.
So that's going to be their series. So then we had Andy Signor reporting that there is for sure an Ahsoka series, which seemed to be confirmed by Rosario Dawson's sort of cagey comment saying nothing's been announced, but I will be really excited when it gets announced. So very happening. That my theory is that's the project that Kathleen Kennedy brought Leslie Headland in to do, because it's your woman-led Star Wars. Are you really going to announce another female-led Star Wars TV show? But that's probably what's causing a little rift in Lucasfilm, because David Filoni feels like this is his project. These are his characters. He should be the one doing it. Favreau probably is on his side on that. Iger's probably on his side because Filoni has a better track record. And all of this woke garbage has been compromising the Star Wars brand since Disney acquired it. And so he's probably not pleased with Kathleen Kennedy's move on that front as well. So that's that. So since we last talked, though, that was sort of semi-announced, as well as a Boba Fett spinoff. So what are your thoughts on that, on the Boba Fett spinoff, or the Ahsoka one, or all of it?
What the fuck are they going to do with Boba Fett? What is he going to do?
I mean,
what? He's gonna go catch bounties. Do you not realize how old he is now? I mean, not to say that older gentlemen can't accomplish things, because they 100% can, and my dad is a very big testament to that. But it's like, what? He escaped the Sarlacc pit. Yay! Whoop-de fucking do. They announced an Obi-Wan Kenobi series. Oh, we have the scripts done. Oh, hey, guess what? Apparently people don't fucking talk. It's the same damn show as The Mandalorian. So it's like, let's announce this show. Let's announce this show. Let's announce this show. And then they never make it.
No.
You know?
I think if they're going to do it, I mean, realistically, a Boba Fett spinoff in this world would just be The Mandalorian again. I think if they're doing a Boba Fett spinoff, they need to go back in time with him. They need to start him now, that's what I would do. Or you could start him getting out of the Sarlacc pit. But again, he's not going to be, technically Boba Fett, the character's not going to be that old at this point in time. It's 5 years post Return to the Jedi, so he's only 5 years older than he would have been in Jedi.
Well, how old is the actor that they're having?
Tamora Morrison's the guy who played Jango Fett from the prequels, so he's older, but not that old. Tamara Morrison is, let's see what he looks like these days.
Well, because he was in his 30s or 40s in the prequels, so how old is he now? And when they showed the picture of him, I was like, oh yeah, that the movie came out 20 I don't know what
He's 59 years old.
Yeah, so I'm just saying he's only a few years younger than my father. But how old was Boba Fett supposed to be in,
That's true.
You
Probably not. Says Tamara Morrison. You can see some of the younger pictures, some of the older ones, but yeah, this is kind of what he's looking like now. Now, if you're throwing him in Boba Fett armor, especially if you're using a stunt double and it's gonna be another action-based show, it's not really going to be an issue. But then again, if you have some guy, if your entire show is just some guy running around in Mandalorian armor, how is that different from the Mandalorian? So,
also one of the things that they did really well, and this is what I was saying, because how they're saying, oh, we're going to announce all of these cameos. So I know you haven't played KOTOR, so I'll give you a little backstory. So KOTOR kind of, the premise of it is that there was Mandalorians are known in the Star Wars universe as like, they fight and they are ruthless warriors and they are bloodthirsty warriors. So back in the KOTOR timeline, there was the thing called the Mandalorian Wars. And so the Mandalorians were taking over planets, pillaging, enslaving people to, be, the Mandalorians, or, they would use them, the people that they take over the planet, they would occupy the planet, those people would become their slaves, and then, pillage, rape, all of that kind of stuff. So then the reason everything happened in KOTOR was it was between the Mandalorians versus the Republic. And so the Jedi were like, well, we have to convene about this. And then Revan was like, you're taking too fucking long. We need to go fight. And so the Jedi split and the Jedi had a civil war. But one of the characters in KOTOR is this character named Canderous. And he's older because he's a Mandalorian and he fought in the Mandalorian Wars. And so he's helping Revan, but he's a Mandalorian. So he has that experience of what it was like to fight in the Mandalorian Wars and that knowledge. And some of the things, it's like, well, he's not necessarily a bad guy, but sometimes you make decisions in war that are ruthless and you have to live with those decisions because it helped you in the moment. But it's like, wow, it helped me win the battle, but I didn't win the war, the mental war, because I just, I might have destroyed a planet to win, but I murdered billions of people. So if he did one of those things where now he's helping, or he's having to live with the decisions he's made in the past, like how he helped the Empire and he helped Darth Vader, and now he's like, well, fuck, there could have been. Oh yeah, I know there's spoilers. Well, that's not too much spoilers because I didn't give the twist, but it's one of those things that if an older guy that has to live with the decisions he made in the past, and maybe now maybe he has a kid or something that he didn't know about. And so now he's going to have to teach the kid about his past and, hey, this is why you don't do this. Yeah, you might want to, like, maybe like they did a Karate Kid type thing and he's teaching like this kid to be the thing and he's the Miyazaki. But I don't know. There's so many possibilities, but I really like the character Canderous. And I was saying, if they want to bring everyone into this, I'm like, they should have Linda Hamilton and Jamie Lee Curtis as like Mandalorian sisters. Ooh. And then one of them is married to like Arnold Schwarzenegger, who is like a Canderous type character, and he's a Mandalorian, That
would be intense.
And I was like, that would be fucking awesome. Let's see Jamie Lee Curtis and Linda Hamilton like fuck up aliens and shit. They're like, nope. We gotta go. We gotta, have him as one of their husbands. I think that would be great.
That would be pretty damn badass. That would be pretty badass. Can't lie.
I have to pee, so I'll be right back.
Yeah, I'll be here. We'll be chatting. Let's catch up with the chat. Let's see what's going on with you guys. And then when Anna comes back, we'll talk a little more Star Wars and we'll jump over to the big Batwoman news. Sloppy Joe says, I also waterboarded myself. That sounds uncomfortable. I'm sorry that you went through that with yourself. The game is 18 years old. Some people haven't played it yet. What's your guys' statute of limitations on spoilers? And does that change for TV series versus movies versus video games versus when there's a big twist in the film versus not? Like, is there a type of movie where you're like, I would never spoil the ending of Fight Club, but who gives a fuck for Citizen Kane? If you know what Rosebud is, it doesn't really change your watch of the movie. XOXO Gossip Girl, or actually in this particular instance, XOXO Go Piss Girl. I like that even better. But yeah, Anna's gonna be back. She's just run to the bathroom. Spoiler limits for me is a year or months old. That's solid. Give us a spoiler for the stream 10 minutes from now. Hot. That would be funny. We should do that. That would be that'd be great if we like every 15 minutes we're like, spoilers, if you haven't seen the stream, this is what you missed. Spoiler section. That'd be funny. Be like, it's just catching you up. Last week on Burn Notice, we're watching. Jeff and I are going back and watching Burn Notice again. I don't know if you guys are familiar. One in the chat, if you ever watched any of Burn Notice or were even aware of it or whatnot. It's a great old TV show that was on something. I don't even know what it aired on. Anyway, it's set in Miami. Michael Weston, he used to be a spy until he got burned. Now he does all this stuff. It's a really fun show. Bruce Campbell's in it. It's great. Oh, we got Zach Blackfire, author Stephen Wall, Social Distance Warrior. All were familiar with this show. Batgirl is yet to be ruined. Don't drag her into this. Yes, let's not forget, it's Batwoman. That's on. Oh, you were right in time for a $50 super chat.
Oh, wow.
And, from Jeremy Sears. Thank you for this incredible super chat, Jeremy Sears. I daydream of women talking about these subjects. This is probably why I'm single. Well, there's hope out there. You know, if you're familiar with World Class Bullshitters, Jeff lives here with me now, you know, in our nerdy little lives of nerdiness. And we quote Star Wars at each other all the time, like on the regular. So there's hope for you, Jeremy Sears. There's definitely hope for you. So don't you worry. Don't you feel left out. There's
Tulip, come here. Come
a
here.
woman out there for you.
And look, there's a puppy.
And there's a tulip here for Anna. So nope, that's not.
Princess.
I meant to do that.
There's
There
a
we go.
princess.
Aw,
She's so full of love. So full of love. She sees that I have food though, so she's like,
that's why she's full of love.
"You're so full of love. Are you sweetest little princess whole wide world?"
Oh my goodness, look at your little face.
Look
Well,
at what-
Jeremy, keep daydreaming and don't lose hope, because you know what? There's a woman out there for you, for sure.
Oh,
There's
thank you. I love you so much. I love you so much. I love you so much.
Oh, tulip. The little tulip. And we also had Runs with Phantom says Kate Beckinsale as Bastilla Sean.
Bastila.
Bastilla Sean. Oh, I like
She would be the, here. You know what's funny though? I love Underworld. So I remember when I was like a kid, and I still have Underworld on VHS, but we would go to the theater like as a family. Like that was a family movie. I fucking love Underworld. After the first one, and they try to like add all these other things, it does get a little bit different. After the third one, though, I stopped watching. I think that she's a really, really great actress, but I heard that she's kind of like ditzy in person. Like she's
really
not the brightest bulb.
because she always plays these like tough, hardcore action hero, like Van Helsing too. I fucking love her in Van Helsing.
They're like, yeah, she's really dumb. And I was
That's
like,
so funny.
really? Because she's a great actress. When she's Celine, holy fuck. But
She's like the meathead. She's like the female version of just like the meathead actor.
I would really, thinking about it, I'd have to see. I follow her on Instagram. And so I'd have to look to see how good she looks in an unedited photo, because Basil is supposed to be young. That's the only thing. Lovely self-portrait or air, Anna's organs. I'm actually a very small human being. So
inside her body. Flaming Tweet, I would assume they're inside her body. Like
they're under my skin.
most people keep their organs. Your skin, which is also in fact another organ.
It is. It's the largest organ on your body.
That's true. Hey, we learn things in school. Doug 209, you're right. Yeah, I agree with you. She does not look ditzy. That's so funny to me. I think that's really.
I know it's crazy. The fact, then some of the things that she posts on Instagram, I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Yar. We were talking about while you were gone. I was mentioning Burn Notice. How Jeff and I were watching a ton of that. Have you ever watched Burn Notice?
I feel like I have.
It was a fun show. It was Jeffrey Donovan. He used to be a spy, and Bruce Campbell's in it, and they do jobs for people, but he's also trying to get back in. All this stuff. So, but yes, Hale, walking, talking Jeff meme, and Lukov says Anna is an albino Smurf.
I actually have like a fascination with people with albinism. We had this movie. We had it. I feel like I've seen it, but I don't remember too much about it.
Burn Notice?
Yeah.
It ran for like 7 seasons, and there was a made-for-TV movie about Bruce Campbell's character in it. So it's fun. It's on Hulu. It's all of it's on Hulu right now. So if anybody is looking for a fun fluff watch we've ran out of, it's really addicting. It's really fun. It's definitely nice and fluffy though. So it's if people are looking for material, if you're running out of stuff to watch in quarantine, it'll give you plenty of time, plenty of seasons, and it definitely kind of stays fun and fast paced.
Just rewatch Star Wars.
Or that, just watch it over and over and over again. Reese M knows what's up. Burn Notice was an awesome show. All right, so I just want to touch briefly on this fun little tidbit that was coming out this week about how Rey, there was apparently, as the filmmakers called it, a subplot about her building a new lightsaber, because it just didn't feel right to use Luke's, and as well it shouldn't. And she wanted to build her own. And apparently that was just a bunch of footage from Rise of Skywalker, which is her building her own lightsaber. To which I say, learn what a fucking subplot is. Because if your B plot in your action movie is somebody pulling out a manual and putting together a Lego statue, you're not making a very compelling action movie.
I mean, they could have had it piece by piece, little bit through the entire movie, like in the beginning where she's floating with the rocks, or even like when she talks to the little hairdryer droid on the ship.
Right.
It could be like her, like, you know how some people like in the background they're sitting like messing with Rubik's cubes and stuff, like Chewie in the originals, you know, the good ones, Chewie and fucking C-3PO are playing their chess. It's like you have Rey messing, like, you know, like tinkering with stuff. And that could be, you see her tinkering throughout the entire movie, and then at the end it's like she finally got that last part she needed, and you see her like with that last, like the thing that she's been tinkering on this entire movie, and then she puts the last piece on it, and then she has a lightsaber. You know, there you go. I just fixed that entire problem for them.
And it's not, and exactly like you said, it's just it can be a little insert, a little aside. It's not a fucking plot point. It shouldn't be like a driving story arc that you need to make the choice to cut or not. It's not a story arc. It's an important detail. And here's the fun thing too, by the way, though, because for those who are familiar, that was a deleted scene from Return of the Jedi. Was Luke building his lightsaber at the very beginning. So even the stuff that doesn't make the final cut was stolen from pre-existing Star Wars material, which I think is just hilarious. They're like, well, they probably stole the idea to cut that from the movie as well, because they don't have a goddamn original thought.
Well, I mean, that whole thing where she hands Leia Luke's lightsaber and then she hands it right back to her, that could have been the beginning of the fucking movie. Same thing, where she was working on it and she says, she like hands it to Leia and she's like, I don't know what's wrong with it, or like, is it finished or something like that? And Leia looks at it and then Leia hands it back to her, like as if, no, you keep working on it. Yeah. Or like she hands it to her, she says, I think I got it this time. And Leia like takes it, she looks at it and hands it back to her. You don't even have to have Leia say anything. It's like the not saying something says a lot, you know?
Absolutely. Just like Luke's not.
There you go. I fixed that whole awkward scene with the whole awkward dialogue. I fixed it right there.
Amazing. Without even trying. Dagsby says, I was disappointed they didn't do anything interesting with the Knights of Ren. I called that shit from the very beginning, because everyone was talking about at the beginning, but they never picked my interest. Well, a little bit, I guess, in The Force Awakens, but then they didn't do anything. People were bitching that they never did anything with them in The Last Jedi. I'm like, you guys have never seen the Knights of Ren again. I mean, we saw them technically, but they didn't. They were just like there was no substance to anything. Snoke, the Resistance, the First Order, the Knights of Ren, any characters, anybody, nobody had meaning. Even Rose came and went. You know, none of these characters, none of these additional characters or plot points or story ideas went anywhere or meant anything. So just a bunch of guns on the table that never got shot. Chekhov would be really sad.
I'm just like, if you and I can sit here and we could debate what happened in Star Wars and each little minute problem, and you and I could probably sit here in maybe an hour and fix the entire thing with just simple, deductive reasoning.
And not even by tearing it down and rewriting something in its place. I can keep your characters. I can keep
the entire thing, keep the plot.
Exactly.
And we could figure it. You and I could probably sit here and figure it out. I could go and find a random person on the street and then just say, here's this problem. How do we make a solution? They don't even have to be Star Wars fans. I don't even have to say it's a Star Wars movie. I could just say they want this to happen. I don't even have to say making a lightsaber. I could say piecing together something that a tool that they are going to need, and we could figure out how to do it. It's not that hard.
But it's so interesting the way it's framed so differently, like the journey to make the original movie versus the journey to make the sequel trilogy. How like it's just such opposite processes where it was, questioning the leadership at the very top level, people actually questioning George Lucas on certain things, bringing in their own expertise to fix things. They needed 4 editors to do the first film. Marsha Lucas, if without her, God knows what we would have seen for A New Hope. And then, even people like Richard Chew who were brought in at the very end to fix some of the biggest problems that they had. I mean, one of the issues they had was background casting. Anytime they needed American actors, they were casting background and bit parts, not background really, but small parts, like secondary parts, like Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru, out of London, but they were casting American actors for those roles. And American actors in London at the time were actors typically who were too shitty to make it in America. So you had a very small pool of talent to cast some of your people, like your bartender at the cantina or Owen and Beru, and it showed. And when you look closely, it still showed. So you had someone, Richard Chew was brought in explicitly to fix some of these crappy performances, some places you had to cut around lines or work with bad ADR and stuff like that. So you had people at every level coming in, effectively fixing the top-down leadership. And all you had for the sequel trilogy was the top-down leadership coming in and meddling with what the creatives were trying to do, meddling at every level, taking the power away from the people who had the ability to say, hold on, maybe we should take another look at this, maybe we should fix this, maybe we should do this better, and thinking that they, as one overseeing entity, somehow were better than the entire collaborative filmmaking process with just their mind alone. It's just this hubris that happens that ruins, potentially what could have been a movie.
Hubris.
Mm-hmm. Ugh. It makes me sick. That's really frustrating.
It irks my soul. I don't know. I'm so tempted because I still have a lot of friends that like work at Lucasfilm. They have absolutely no part in any type of executive decision making with any of it, and actually most of them don't even work on Star Wars because it's with ILM, and ILM, for those of you that do not do it, is the special effects company that George Lucas created. And ILM is actually part of the headquarters. Half of ILM though is overseas in Singapore, but I have a lot of friends that work at the Singapore location and the San Francisco location, and I'm like, I don't want to get anyone in trouble, but I'm so tempted to can you just take me on a tour, and then I could just leave sticky notes places.
Oh my God, that'd be so fucking
This is how you just a little, and it'll be tip number 1. This is how you fix this. And I just stick it somewhere. I walk down the aisle. Tip number 2. This is how you fix it.
It's hilarious. Porkins, I'm going to disagree with you on this one 100%. He says, don't say hubris. No one, and I mean no one, used that word in real life before Luke said it in The Last Jedi. False. That is not true at all. I've used the word hubris for a long time. When did I'm just a specific work. I think about it, something I read in school or something I learned or studied where hubris was a big part of it. So I've used the word hubris since I was a teenager,
I heard it when I was a little kid because, for those of you that don't know, my parents had me and my sisters very later on in life. So all of my mom's friends and everyone I was around was much older. It wasn't somebody having kids when they were in their, 20s and early 30s. My parents had me in their late 30s, my sisters in their 40s. So when I was around grown-ups, they were all older. And I just remember this old lady would say it all the time. And so that's how I learned what it meant. But in my vocabulary, I don't use it unless I'm, trying to make an ironic quote about Star Trek. But not I shouldn't say Star Trek. I should say Kurtzman's shit Trek, Picard. But I typically use, I know what the word is. I knew what it was before it was in Star Trek. I knew it since I was a kid, but I personally use words in my own vocabulary if it's something that I like, because if I can think of a cleverer word for the exact same, because that's one of the things about the English language is we have I think Chinese is the next one under us. We have the most words, and English is also the hardest language in the world to learn. So there are a bunch of different words that have the same meaning. So I try to find the one that I like the best that will describe the same thing. So hubris is not a word. I don't even think it's a clever word. When I hear it, I think of the old lady using it when I was a kid, and it's not a pleasant memory, because I was like, you're talking to like customers that way, and I'm like, I don't like it when people talk down to people. So when I hear that word, I'm just like, it has a negative connotation in my head, so I don't like to use it.
That's fair. I always use, like, for me, when it's connected, I never just use it. Like, technically it's a synonym for pride, but I would never use it just being like, that person is full of hubris, instead of like that saying that person's prideful or something like that. I use it typically most of the time when I'm using it in like the sort of biblical 7 deadly sins way, which I think is a way I've heard it connected a lot.
Yeah.
So I think I've heard it connected most frequently as just interchangeable with pride in terms of like the sins. And so it always had that sort of more grandiose, like, this is your sin, your fall, it's your hubris. Has had like a very like ancient, very classical sound to it. To me, it has a very classical sound. Which may have been where I first learned it from, because I studied Latin, and we had like mythology Mondays, and we had etymology days, where we learned a lot of words and stuff. So it may have come up during that. But so that I am going to disagree with. I've heard the word hubris used in the vernacular since I was a kid. I've used it since I was a kid. So that one I will take umbrage with. I had someone in the stream a minute ago, they were like, this is so fake, I'm leaving. I'm like, what is fake about literally watching two people hang out? Like, I just think it's funny. I mean, I know people trolling or haters and stuff. I just think it's such a weird thing to choose to say. Like, some of the things people choose to say. Like the time that guy tried to make me feel bad about myself by like trying to insult the size of my thighs. I'm like, bitch, I am proud of the size of my thighs and my ass. So pick again. Try something else.
I know. I feel like your body type, it reminds me of Mrs. Incredible.
Oh, thank you.
That's the way you are. And that's honestly usually like when, at least from what I've seen, like when I watch like shows and stuff, when I see like men describe women, and it's like, it's either, like the very busty ones, or it's like the pear.
That pear. I got that pear shape.
And it's actually scientifically proven that the reason why men like big boobs is because that is a sign of motherhood. And then when you have wider thighs and like thicker hips, and wider thighs and hips, thicker hips, switch that. That's also a sign of like, you are going to be a good mother, you're going to produce more children. So that's like fundamentally ingrained in us as human beings. That's also why women usually typically like a certain type of man, because they are in our genes, in our genetics, it's that's a provider, that's a sign of protection, of strength, and that's what we need to complete us. And so scientific,
there you go,
biology, funny how that works.
I got it. Goods biology. And it's funny though, like as much as pop culture tries with the images it puts out, it will never erase the appeal of the curvy woman. That always, the curvy, no matter how much skinny becomes in style, the curvy woman always comes back. Always comes back in fashion. So I just had to wait for butts to be cool again. And the reality is, if you ask the average everyday male, they never weren't, in spite of what you saw. I mean, Jeff will even complain about this as we watch an older TV show like Burn Notice, how like, oh, the women aren't curvy enough. He's like, there's just nobody appealing to the show for me. So, but I joke because they, what's really this, you'll appreciate this about the show, especially if you're into Jeffrey Donovan's body at all, but they do a lot of like extra bikini shots of just women walking around in bikinis and whatnot, but they show Jeffrey Donovan topless to make up for it for the ladies. So there's a lot of good muscly toplessness, something for everyone, the way a good TV show should be. Crazy Eye Jedi, thank you for the super chat. Grandkids giggle when I use groovy. What'd you say?
Bitchin'.
The bee's knees. I'm partial to the bee's knees. I mean, that one's fun. People make fun of me now when I say cool beans.
I've always said cool beans. Is that like an old people thing now?
We're old now. If you're old now, if you say cool beans.
No. I know somebody said that Facebook is for old people, and I was like, yeah. I remember when Facebook became a thing.
when Facebook was hit, when it replaced MySpace. Oh man, good times. Leo Vargas says they must not have a very big vocabulary. I knew the word hubris since I was a kid from Apocalypse, saying it in '90s X-Men animated series. There you go. And this is an excellent point, though. I think of so many things I learned from the TV shows we used to watch when we were kids. You know, song lyrics I used to listen to, stuff like that. Like there was a time when it used to actually like be cool to be smart and learn things. So it was normal for your media, for your TV shows and stuff, to put ideas or words or things in there that you didn't know already, that you had to then go seek out the answer to. Because the thing is, like, if someone just says this is what this means, you don't learn it as well as having to like go seek it out. Which is why my dad, whenever we didn't know a word, he'd be like, look it up. And they'd be like, oh, great. How do you spell it? And he'd make us sound it out.
That was one of my biggest pet peeves because they didn't know that I had severe dyslexia.
Oh, yeah.
And so they're like, I said, well, how do you spell this word? And they're like, look it up in the dictionary. And I'm like, how the fuck am I supposed to look it up if I don't know how to spell it? That still pisses me off as an adult. I fucking hate that. And I remember because it took me a very long time to learn how to read because, again, severe dyslexia. And even when I read out loud, people are like, oh, Anna's stupid. And I'm like, no, I can read it in my head and I have to read it over and over again. And I will get it because I love to read. I've got a tower of books right behind me that you can't see. But when I remember the teacher saying that, and like, that is the absolute worst advice you could possibly give a child that is having trouble learning how to read. My tongue is red because I'm drinking water that's full of Mio, and this is the purple one, but it changes my tongue red. But I hate that. I hate that. It's like sounding it out doesn't help me, you know?
Now spelling is an almost pretty more or less obsolete art, which makes me sad because as someone who always loved words and language, I always enjoyed that stuff. But I know it was always obnoxious. I will say though, that the words my dad taught me like that, I have never forgotten what they mean, and I have never forgotten how to spell them. So I'll give him that, you know, when you actually have to, seek out, you know, the knowledge. But yeah, no.
Well, see, I guess everyone learns differently. The way that I learned how to spell a word was I had to spell it over and over and over again, like, you know, do that. And then it becomes a muscle memory, but also it's using it in a sentence. And what we had, because I remember this was in like second grade, we had the alphabet around the room, and then you had to write words under it that started with that letter.
Oh,
and
nice.
So I remember and it was always common words, like if this was a word that everyone needed help with, and so that word would go up underneath the letter, because I think there was like 5 or 6 spaces. And so if you were ever writing and you forgot how to spell a word, you would look up like around the room to that, and that's what you would use. So for me, it was writing it over and over again and using it. If I had to look it up in the dictionary, that was immediate, like, oof. I'm mad. I have no interest in learning this because it's like I can't even fucking spell it to find it. So it's a stunter right there.
No, forcing someone how to figure out how to spell on their own sounds like a dyslexic's worst nightmare.
Oh yeah.
Hey, this thing that's literally the hardest thing for you to possibly do because the way your brain's wired, figure it out on your own.
Mm-hmm. Which is why I couldn't read until when I tell people how old I was when I finally was able to learn how to read, because an adult finally figured out what the problem was. I was way too old to be not being able to learn how to read. So I was like, oh.
At least you know now, and that's what matters.
Guys, if you are just joining us, make sure you do press the like button. We've got how many impressions do we have? We have 169 impressions. That is only 31 away from 200. I know we'll get that very, very soon. So the big headline news today is Batwoman is without their leading lady. Ruby Rose is going to exit Batwoman after, what is this, just one season?
Mm-hmm.
Or did she shoot a second season?
No. So they announced that they got the go-ahead, the green light for season 2, but I was reading the article that came out, so Deadline was the one that broke it, and it had like more in depth of what her statement as well as the studio statement. And so one of the things that I think is ironic that they are keeping out of the headlines, aside from Deadline, this should have been the number one, was that it's a mutual parting on both sides.
Yeah.
And so that makes me think either she had problems with it and they had problems too, and there was an ultimatum given, and I think she probably was saying like, fix this or I'm gonna leave, and they called her bluff even though she wasn't bluffing. She's like, all right, fine, bye. Maybe she's like, I want more money, and they said no, and she's like, if you don't give me more money I'm gonna leave, and they said no, and so she's like, all right, I'm leaving. And so they didn't think that she was. So it's one of those things that it's like, oh, the studio is okay with her leaving too. And I'm like, that's funny since she's your main character. They also said, Jesse, for the replacement, it has to be a lesbian.
I did hear that. I think that's ridiculous.
And I said, so you're not basing off of talent or if you actually deserve the part or if you actually are qualified for the part. They're basing on if you like pussy or not.
Exactly, which is ridiculous.
It's like, could you imagine if they said, "Oh, we're gonna do this," but like if they did it the opposite, it's like, and I said that too because I was like, I don't know if you ever watched How I Met Your Mother, but Barney, Neil Patrick Harris.
I love Barney. Barney sometimes is my spirit animal.
Yeah, he plays a womanizer, and like that's a gay man. He would have never gotten that opportunity if they said this is a very straight man womanizer type character, but oh yeah, he's straight, so no gay men are allowed to audition. Could you imagine the way that the access media would lose their shit? Even Matt Boomer in White Castle, he is a gay man. He plays a womanizer. I didn't know he was gay until I saw pictures of him and his husband. I'm like, he's fucking gay? Are you serious? You know? Yeah. I wouldn't even care if the next person they got to play James Bond was gay. I don't care that Luke Evans that played Gaston. Well, I do care that he's gay because I love him and I think he's a beautiful.
I do love Luke Evans.
He's sad that finding out he was gay, but you know,
Luke Evans is a hunk, and I do it makes me sad that he plays for the other team. But yeah, it's the ridiculous. Exactly, like there's no reason. There's nothing about playing a gay character that a straight person can't access. You know, we ask people to it just shows like a really insulting level of ignorance towards what an actor actually does.
Exactly. You know? I'm like, this is what I used the other day. I was like, what's his name? Russell Crowe in A Beautiful Mind. Does he have schizophrenia? Nope. No, he doesn't. He doesn't have schizophrenia. He is acting. He is playing a role. Does Eddie Roseman, does he have ALS? Is he a genius in quantum physics for the theory of everything? No, he's acting.
Exactly. Eddie Redmayne, for that matter, as the Danish girl playing a trans woman. Eddie Redmayne.
I know, like a lot of people in the trans community, they got pissed at that and they didn't even want to watch the movie because they felt it should have been a trans actor or actress playing that character. And I'm like, you got an Oscar winning actor to give an Oscar worthy performance in The Danish Girl. Exactly. And you're complaining. And the argument for that, it's like, but they don't have a problem with Tim Curry in Rocky Horror Picture Show. He's not a transvestite. He was an actor playing a role.
Exactly. And the whole thing is, would you rather, in the case of The Danish Girl or that movie Rub and Tug that Scarlett Johansson was cast for, that's now not going to happen because they pulled her off of that. You're talking about your top billed actors and actresses, Academy Award winning actors, you know, in some cases, bringing that kind of publicity to that kind of story. So you're saying you'd rather a story that could have a serious positive benefit to a large number of people in the trans community, you'd rather that story not get told because it's not going to directly benefit an already privileged member of one single member of the trans community. Because I'm sorry, if your life is I'm going out trying to make it as a Hollywood actor, you are living off of a certain amount of privilege in your background. Now, is it possible you had a really shit life and you're out in Hollywood, you know, scraping on the streets, trying to make it, have one of those, you know, Chris Pratt living in your van until you make it stories? Yeah, sure, it's possible. But the reality is, it's like, are you going to hang this movie on one actor because you want to improve one actor's life to take some unknown person and make some movie that may or may not do well or make money? Or do you want to tell an important story about being trans that it's going to affect a large number of people and have the possible, you know, possibly positive benefit on a large percentage of the trans community. And it's just idiocy. It's this backwards thinking that's like you're missing out on opportunities for actual positive furthering of progressive conversations because of your inane being stuck. Like the thing is, we're all about change and acceptance and this. You're so fucking stuck in your ways and stubborn and so against change and any form and accepting any suggestion that doesn't come from you that you're actually doing more harm than good.
Mm-hmm. I'm just going to address something right now. I know this isn't my channel. I know it's your channel.
Cool.
But if you are just going to be coming on here and complaining that you're a Star Wars fan and then telling Jessie to suck it because you don't like her content, do you not realize you do not have to watch it? It's not Clockwork Orange. She's not strapping you down in a chair, pinning your eyes open and forcing you to watch it. So you are going to go in timeout. If you come back and continue to be an asshole, again, you don't have to be here. You don't have to watch it. If you're going to come back and be an asshole, I'm going to time you out again. 3 strikes, I'm hiding you from the channel.
Well, you heard it. That's Anna's word on it, and that's the way
well, it's one thing to not like something and disagree with it civilly, but coming onto my friend's platform, insulting her, that's crossing the line. I know that you are a lot more liberal on, people on your channel than I am, but when you come on to specifically insult my friend when we're trying to have a show here, I'm not going to put up with that. And if someone was doing, if Jessie wanted to time someone out or even hide somebody on their channel when it was mine, she has the moderator power to do that. And I trust her judgment on that. So you are going out of your way to be a jackass. I'm giving you a warning. You're in timeout. Come back. You do it again. You're in timeout. You do it again. Gone.
There you go. Laying down the law. Anna says so. I ain't gonna fuck with her on this one. She wants to give you 3 strikes. That's generous. So that's especially for Anna. That's generous. So I suggest that if you would like to still be a part of the chat, you rein yourself in and abide by that Star Wars Girls guidelines. Otherwise, you're gonna find yourself floating home, kid. Alrighty. Beth, thank you for the super chat. Guess what? I was today years old when I discovered that Tim Hortons Timbits are just the holes from the donuts. That's like Munchkins from whatchamacallit.
Tim Hornets Timbits?
Tim Hortons. That must be like Munchkins, donut hole, like Munchkins from Dunkin' Donuts. Donut holes. They're just yes. You've never had a donut hole?
I know what I know what a donut hole is. I knew that they were the middle of a donut.
Well, that's the idea. I don't think they're actually, because I think when they make a donut, usually it's like you roll it like a snake and then form it together. That I do like the idea. I do like the idea that like you just make
Maybe it's because I'm from California. We don't really have Dunkin' Donuts out here.
Oh, right. That moved out here when I moved out here. That's a new thing out here. And yeah. But those were Munchkins. I grew up with those. Those were Munchkins. Tim Hortons is like the Canadian Dunkin' Donuts, basically.
No, Mason, I said I do know what a donut hole is. I've had donut holes before.
But yeah, Tim Hortons is basically Canadian Dunkin' Donuts. So I'm assuming a Timbit is just a Munchkin or a donut. So thank you, Beth, for sharing this discovery with us. I'm glad that you had that moment. Yeah. All right, cool. So this article that I just pulled up here real quick said, according to multiple sources, Rose was unhappy with the long hours required of her as the series lead, which led to friction on set. It was thus decided by her and the network and studio, Warner Brothers Television, that they would part ways. That really vague statement, I think, lends credence to a lot of what you're saying, that it was probably some sort of negotiation, hey, I'm working longer than I thought I was going to. I need a pay bump. We don't want to pay you more. Okay, I'm walking. No, you're not. Yes, I am. Shit, I guess you are. Whoops, let's find a new lead.
And also it could be like, not only does she have to work longer, she got hurt doing stunts. Maybe she was like, I thought that there was going to be a stunt double. Like, I'm okay having the shots where my face is in it and doing a couple of these, but then they're like, no, you have to do all of this. Also, it's like, have you heard the dialogue? She's got to memorize those lines. From my knowledge of Ruby Rose, she's not stupid. And this is what I said. I was like, because I didn't think that she did a bad job in Orange is the New Black. I think her, like, the character kind of started off strong and then was written badly. I don't think she's a bad actress. But
she was
I like
in the Meg, which is a movie you'll never see.
to deliver that dialogue with a straight face does take talent, you know.
That's, you know what, you're not wrong. That's it's really hard as an actor to get a script and be like, this is dog shit, and just have to roll with it and give it your all. And I think that she does. But yeah, Mason W., as Anna said too, she did get injured very badly in the first shooting for the first season. She needed to go undergo back surgery, otherwise she was going to become paralyzed. So that could be definitely an influential factor.
Like, I need more. Like, I'm not getting like I could totally picture somebody saying, I don't get paid enough for this shit. Like,
exactly.
Pay me more.
Now, if you're talking about a hit show that's really going to catapult her to stardom, that's one thing. But you're talking about this is the kind of thing. This was her big break. This was her big chance, you know. And if she was seeing the show go down the toilet, she doesn't necessarily want to, you know, tie herself to a brick and throw herself on that sinking ship, you know.
And I mean, she's I think she's in her 30s. She's, you know, she wants to go and do better roles than ones that are getting completely shit on and the ratings are terrible. The viewership is terrible. She did her one season and now she can leave. And if you look back and you look at all of that, it's going to be like, wow, I completely understand why.
Yeah, you know? Exactly. Now it becomes, okay, I did this one season. It didn't work out. This goes on my resume. Here's the valuable experience I gained from this. Let's move on to the next bigger and better thing, rather than she is Batwoman forever, you know, and probably, you know, since they're diving into season 2, you're talking about the Arrowverse and how everything's connected, and like maybe the season 2 contract required more time commitments, like, you know, being in episodes of other shows and prepping towards some ensemble piece that she just didn't want to put one of these staring down the barrel of, like one of these long-term Marvelous contracts so they have you on the hook for the next 5 years of your life or more. Maybe she wasn't ready to pull the trigger on such a deep time commitment. You know, maybe it was a wait and see. Hey, if this works out, if people love this, if we can go with this, I'll be the helmswoman for your next phase. But, you know, without that success, it was like, I ain't signing on to, I'm not tying my reputation to this nonsense when I can just jump out and get a, you know, supporting role in John Wick 4 or something like that.
Yeah. Well, she died, so I don't think she can come back.
She can have a twin who's blind and not deaf. So.
Okay. Osmosis. I like that your icon is Osmosis Jones. I addressed that too, how she wasn't backed by the LGBTQ plus community because she's not lesbian enough. I addressed that in my live stream, which is now on my channel. It's just a permanent video yesterday. Yeah, she's not lesbian enough. And I'm like, how more lesbian can you get than Ruby Rose, you know?
She came out when she was like 12 or some shit like that.
Yeah, and I mean, and I even talked about this. She did a music video, which is, if you watch the uncut version, it's very, or unrated version, that's the one that I should say, it's very graphic, but the music video is like, she had like long blonde hair and she's got makeup on, she's got like a pretty girly dress, and then she cuts off the hair, she dyes it black, she wipes all the makeup, she takes like a bath. All of a sudden she's cut, like she's washing off the makeup off of her tattoos. She goes from being in the girly dress and the high heels to wearing like the her style, and then she like even straps down her boobs to put on like the men's outfit, and then in the unrated version she puts a dildo in her pants.
Nice, I love it.
But
I don't think I've seen the unrated version then, because I don't remember the dildo part.
That was because I had seen the unrated version and I was like, this isn't that bad. Like, I don't see why people are losing their shit. And then they're like, no, you're watching the wrong version. And so I found it and I was like,
find that. But yeah,
she's been very open. And I remember even she got mad at Orange is the New Black. And I said this in my live stream yesterday. She got mad because so many women said, oh, I would go lesbian for Ruby Rose. And she was like so frustrated. She's like, that's not how it works. You don't go lesbian for someone. She's like, you're either born like this or you're not.
Yeah.
You know? She's like, if you are a lesbian and you know you're in the closet, you know, that's respect to you. You know, when the time is right, feel free. Like, you know, it's going to be a great experience for you. Or even if it's not a great experience because family, you know, it's going to be a personal journey for you. But I remember her like getting upset about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the thing. She left Twitter because she wasn't lesbian enough.
Which was so fucking stupid. All right, I don't know if this is the original.
How much more lesbian can you get? You know,
seriously, this is like I just. Okay, here we are. No, I can't find.
Because I think it was one time she said, and here's the thing that people don't understand: gay men can still acknowledge the fact that women are attractive. lesbians can still acknowledge the fact that a man is attractive. Doesn't mean that they want to fuck them. Doesn't mean that they're sexually attracted to them. When you see an attractive person, you're just like, oh, wow, that's an attractive person. That person got good genes, you know? But because she had made a comment that, like, a man, she's like, oh, yeah, that's an attractive man. They said, oh, she's not lesbian enough.
Which is so it's just oh god, yeah. So this video that you're talking about, too, by the way, this was what catapulted her to stardom initially. She was just an Australian supermodel at that point. Here's the video in the chat. It's not the original host for it. I don't know if it's still up here, but someone posted it. Anyway, it's yeah, it's really cool actually. I think this is like, to me, when you talk about the conversations that are happening about gender fluidity versus the reality, I think this video does a really nice job of capturing the reality. You know, here I'm a person, I can put on the blonde wig, I can put on the makeup, I can go be this supermodel and look a certain way, the way you tell me to, and I can come home and be this other person. And I think the point that the video tries to make, which is something Ruby Rose has tried to send, you know, drive home when she talks about this, and this is why I love her, and why I can respect her idea of like gender fluidity. She goes by female pronouns. She's like, I'm a woman, I'm a lesbian, I have female body parts, all that stuff. This isn't, again, by the way, part of why she's not lesbian enough. This was what came out later. The original backlash was she wasn't lesbian enough. She was already too established as an actress, and she wasn't Jewish, which is so fucking stupid.
Was
so her
like
whole,
a lot of people that are in like World War II movies that play Jews, are they all Jewish? Do they all have
Magneto, fucking Ian McKellen's not Jewish, and he does a brilliant job. He's not a Holocaust survivor.
There is Michael Fassbender.
True. Michael Fassbender, not Jewish. Ian McKellen, not Jewish. Play an excellent.
Great jobs, though. That was a great Magnetos.
It's brilliant. I mean, the Michael Fassbender scene in a First Class when his mother's getting killed. Oh my fucking god, that just. Ugh. But
that was a kid, wasn't it?
What?
That was a kid.
Oh, it was it wasn't Fassbender, but
when he's in the bar and he's
confronting the Nazis, when he's talking about
oh my, and he's speaking German to them, and he's like, da, 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 and they're just like, and you just see their eyes get big, and like he's just sitting there like completely calm and collected, and then he's even when he's talking to the bad guy, and he's like, I agree with everything that you're saying, but you killed.
Unfortunately for you, you killed my mother. Oh god, that part that was the mother. Oh, I love it. I love that movie. I love that scene. I love Fassbender's interpretation, which is so funny to me because he has a German last name and he's very German looking, but he was born Irish, which is just hysterical to me. Yeah, no, so that's Ruby Rose's whole thing, and that's why I love and respect what she does. Is she's like, yes, this is the whole point of gender fluid. I don't need to change my pronouns. I don't need to be like, I'm a man today, I'm a woman today, I'm a this today, I'm a that today. I'm going to wake up and I'm going to dress the way I want to dress. That might look like a blonde supermodel, or it might look like a dude, and you can still call me she. You can still call me whatever you want, you know, and I just might look this way or that way. I'm like, that is exactly what it's...
When they misgender you at airports.
What?
You don't throw a temper tantrum when they misgender you at airports.
True. And for me, that was the exact right perspective on this whole gender nonsense, which is literally, I'm a female person. I have a female biology, but I'm going to dress how I want to dress. I don't need to. And that's her whole thing, is she rejects the labeling. She doesn't need to be put in the box, which I think is the right way to go. And that's why the gay crowd started crucifying her, because this was one of the later arguments too, was that she's not really a lesbian because she identifies as gender fluid. And so she's gender fluid, then she can't be a woman. So she's wrong, basically, for identifying as gender fluid, but then also using female pronouns. So they're telling her she's wrong for, you know, wanting to be who she is, and just express herself the way she naturally wants to express herself. And then they're telling her that makes her not a lesbian because you can't be gender fluid and a lesbian, which just doesn't make any fucking sense. But yes, I do have actually. This week's rant is going to be on gender. So if you're interested in my take on gender pronouns and how many of them we need and what gender is, check out my channel. It'll probably be up tomorrow. So, yes. And yeah, Beth says the reason Jesse tends to not ban the haters in the chat is because their whining is hilarious. Their irrational harping amuses her. This is very true. It does amuse me. It does amuse me greatly. And every now and then they say something that's just so stupid that it gives me the fuel to go on like a.
I understand that, which is why I didn't hide him from the channel. I put him in timeout because he was spamming.
I appreciate that. And I do that. If someone is spamming, if they're clearly just there to be mean, and especially, and I'm with you, if I see people in there doing that shit to my friends, like same thing, if I was on your channel and someone was doing that shit to you, when people...
Like if you're just going to say, fuck you, Jesse, I hate you, and like a different message, but when you're doing the same paragraph over and over again and you're complaining that this is shit content, it's like you don't have to watch it. There are
my channel.
millions of other channels on YouTube.
Exactly. You came to my channel. You clicked on my link, right? There's no version of this where you were deceived into thinking this was just going to be Anna streaming on my channel. That doesn't make any sense. So if you don't like what you see, go click somewhere else. No, Zach Blackfire, of course it wasn't you. You just like big assholes and you cannot come. That was that was one of our Mad Libs with Mary. Oh my God. It was just, yeah. His name came up in it because when we do person in the room, it's anybody in the chat counts as well. And so we put in Zach Blackfire, and he was apparently wearing a shirt to his first date that said, "I like big assholes and I cannot come."
Oh.
And now I'm going to make that shirt because
I've heard from Mary in a few days. Have you talked to her?
Mary?
Yeah.
I talked to her a little bit on Monday because they over the reasons why they canceled Toxic Femme, because I was going to be on the show actually, but she is.
Oh, they canceled Toxic Femme?
Yes, at least that's what unless they went ahead and did it without me. But I was told that they did that yesterday. Because
like indefinitely or just that episode?
Oh, just for that, just for Monday because there was some stuff.
Okay, I texted her because I had been asked to come on the 18th, and I was like, I didn't hear anything, and I was like, are you sure? And so I no one ever responded to me, and I was like, all right, I guess not. And then I didn't see it live, so I was like, I wonder what's going on.
Yeah, because yesterday I texted Mary. I had to text her when I woke up that said, "Are you still down?" I'm like, "Yes, I am." And she's like, "Oh, I just canceled." I'm like, "Oh crap!" And I missed a call from her, but we chatted a little bit. She's Last Shenanigans was canceled too. Oh no. Yeah, no, not permanent, just Mary dealing with some shit. But yeah, she's okay. I've talked to her, so she is a-okay. Well, I think Zach Blackfire just can't come, period. So Flaming TP, at least you can if the asshole is tight, which one would think most assholes are. But yes, that is. We should start shipping people in the chat. I ship Zach Blackfire and Beth to go.
Aw.
That's my ship. Though I know, I mean, it's perfect because, you know, Beth is saving herself, so it's fine if he cannot come, then it works out well for both of them right now. Yep, they had a chance. I mean, and for me, like, outside of Wokeverse, Ruby Rose, to me, is a great choice for Batwoman, especially the direction they wanted to go with the character. I think she's...
I saw that casting and I was like, perfect. You get a well-known lesbian that's popular, that when she went on Orange is the New Black, it doesn't matter if you don't like the show or not, people lost their fucking minds. Like, I remember that everyone was like, oh my God, Ruby Rose. And I remember like people saying, oh, she's so hot on the show and all this. And everyone was excited for Ruby Rose. And I think that the character, the way that they had it fall flat, because I think she had other stuff going on, which I'm like, you could have done so much more with that character and that whole love triangle between them. And they did it the way that they did it. And I was like,
and everything.
But she was a big name, and that I thought that was a great idea based on popularity. But it is what it is, and that's what happened. And this is what I said. I was like, CW is its own genre. Yeah,
it's such that whole Arrowverse nonsense and stuff. It really is. Anna, you did do a Mad Libs when you were on here before, didn't you?
I did, yeah.
We finished the Star Wars Mad Libs, but I do have a book of Indiana Jones Mad Libs, and I have my After Dark Love Mad Libs. So yeah, we can definitely do Osmosis. It was just from it was the sentence that came up from a Mad Lib. So we're gonna make a shirt, and it'll be a deep track if people want to buy it. But yeah, and if you're down, we'll finish with the Mad Lib today if you want.
Sure.
All right, we can do that. Was there anything else you wanted to cover? And we'll go into.
I think like the only thing else that I was new to was that whole thing got rediscovered that happened a few years ago of on the wall at Lucasfilm. When that chick that was drinking the fanboy tears, that chick, I think her name is Andy, when she was doing a show about like after Rebels, the World Between Worlds episode, and she's walking down like one of the hallways in Lucasfilm, and it shows like a poster from Return of the Jedi, and Luke's face is crossed out. And so that caused a big controversy back when it happened. I didn't know that happened because at the time I had only put out like one video. And so I wasn't up to date on all the news because I was working my ass off. And I was not real. If it wasn't an art video or a trailer for an upcoming show, I wasn't seeing it. And so I missed out on that. So I was like, this is news to me. And everyone's like, oh, this is old. And I'm just like, is this fucking real? And they're like, yep, that was real. And it's like, oh my fucking God, you know?
That sucks.
And so that was something I did a little rant video earlier today on it. But it's kind of one of those foreshadowing things. Like, the writing was literally on the wall. And I use this analogy as like when you're reading a book and you get to the ending and it's like, oh my God, those things foreshadowed it in the beginning of the book. So when you reread the book and you're like, oh my God, how did I not see this the first time around? So it's like we got to the end of the book and now looking back, it's like it was all there right in front of us.
The writing was on the wall. Absolutely.
It was literally on the wall.
Jeff and I already decided we're going to watch Empire Strikes Back in honor of its 40th year anniversary tomorrow. Bit more on the Ruby Rose thing we're talking about, you know, writing on the wall, etc. So the CW is recasting. Yes. And do you think there's any chance, especially with these parameters they've already given themselves about, you know, wanting another lesbian, you know, etc. And let's see, Zoe Kravitz is already busy being Catwoman, right? So
she's not a lesbian. She's married to a man.
I thought she was like gay or something like that. I thought
she's married to a man, and that guy actually went to college with my cousin.
Wasn't she supposed to be bisexual or something like that?
I don't think so.
I thought she was. I thought her name came up before when people were talking about gay Jewish people that could have been, because her name came up before, definitely when it
I didn't know she was Jewish.
Yeah, because that's the whole thing, isn't Lenny Kravitz a converted Jew or something like that? Isn't the whole thing?
Well, that wouldn't make her Jew.
What?
You're only Jewish if your mother is a Jew.
If she was raised that way, though, she'd have something like that, or she was part
Jewish. I mean, she celebrates Christmas.
Her name, I'm telling you, her name came up as like, here's a.
Oh my God, people were saying Kristen Stewart is free.
Oh, there you go. Okay, do it.
I don't like TV though, because there are some actors and actresses that will not do television. Like one of the reasons why Jack Nicholson was never on Inside the Actors Studio, and same with Leonardo DiCaprio, is because they refuse to do television.
See, yeah, Zoe Kravitz, both of her parents are half African American and half Ashkenazi Jewish descent. So there you go. There you go.
Amber Heard.
Oh God, kill me, please. No, Amber Turd.
She's not lesbian enough either. She was married to a man.
Yes, true story. Yeah. So, but yeah, there's a short list of available people to carry your series. Like, who's honestly, realistically, as retarded as it sounds, I think Kristen Stewart's your best choice. She has experience in playing action from Charlie's Angels, and she's gay enough. I hope, possibly, maybe not enough. I don't know what enough is.
No, she's not gay enough. That's the thing. Just because Ruby Rose made a comment about how a man was attractive, that made her not lesbian enough.
Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, Kristen Stewart Kristen Stewart famously dated Robert Pattinson, but does that really mean she dated a man?
She had an affair with a married man.
That's true.
Married man.
That's pretty not gay of her. So she's probably not gay enough.
Before she broke up with him to be with Robert Pattinson.
There you go. Someone said Gina Carano. Is Gina Carano gay?
No, she's been dating Henry Cavill on and off.
Oh, well, there you go. She's not. She can't do it because she's not gay. I'm putting my money behind Kristen Stewart. I think that'd be the right direction for the franchise.
Ellen Page. Ellen Page is not an action star.
She really isn't. I think the closest she got was probably Inception, and she didn't do anything action-y in it. Yeah, Stewart has the acting skills for Batwoman. It's perfect. See, I feel like that brooding, weepy, edgy, teenagey. The one thing is, I don't think Kristen Stewart would do it at this point. Maybe she would.
No.
Kate McKinnon. It would be funnier. I'd be more likely to watch it. It would certainly be.
Yeah, that would be taking a step back in her career.
Right. Evan Rachel Wood. There you go. That's a good choice. That I could say, actually.
I'm blanking on who that is.
I still remember her from when she was Rachel in the Animorphs TV show. But here she is. I could see this. Ellen DeGeneres for the lulz.
Oh, Westworld. Oh, I hate her.
I think she could make a solid Batwoman, though.
I stopped watching the show because I hate her. I don't think she's a good actress at all.
Well, I mean, look, Batwoman's not a good show, so it's a match made in heaven.
That's true.
Uh,
Evan Rachel Wood said something defending someone, and then she put her Twitter on private.
Pussy move. You don't have to cancel the show. Just don't air it. No one will notice. Mm-hmm. So true. Thank you for the super chat, Mr. Another. Oh, God. Would you rather have 12 root canals without anesthesia back to back or do a live streaming of your Raylo reaction video with 1,000 drunken Raylo fans in the same auditorium with you?
That one.
The second one?
I laugh. I have a very low pain tolerance. When I've gotten a root canal, it takes 5 shots to numb one of my teeth. I have and I have a very high metabolism, so those 5 shots wear off very fast. So when I have to go to the dentist, it is the most excruciating experience in the world. I remember the last time I got shots for my root canal, like the needle, and I'm a very small human, and those needles are long. The needle went under my nose, like to numb, because like that is. It's very. I 100%. If me and Jesse could take Raylos. Like, come on. If me and Jesse are sitting there in an auditorium with 1,000 Raylos, and they're just gonna be like, and me and Jesse are gonna be like, you guys are fucking insane.
You're gonna give me an excuse to own all of them.
Honestly, that would actually. I feel like that'd be better than TV. Like, you know, when they were losing their mind about Mayflower and like that fight. Could you imagine me and you like commentate, like being the commentator,
live commentary,
and then us critiquing it and then reading,
just poning the Raylos for hours.
I feel like people would pay to watch that.
I'd pay to watch it, and I'd be in it. Fuck, I'd pay to watch it after the fact. After I was already in it, I would pay to then rewatch it after the fact. Just saying. So no, that would be excellent. I would let's do it. Let's get a fucking auditorium full of drunken Raylos. Let's fucking do it.
Well, to be fair, are Raylos even old enough to drink?
That's very true. Anthony Shelley says, anyone feel bad for Daisy Ridley dealing with Raylos? Yeah, I do. I definitely do.
Oh, yeah, when she got out by that weird guy.
Oh, God.
And she's like, no, it's a toxic relationship. And he, like, you just see his face drop.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Wasn't that, like, Steele Saunders or something? Who was asking that? Oh, man. I do feel bad for her for having to do it. I mean, because these people don't ask for this stuff. They're just actors trying to do a job, you know? It's like when lawyers take a lot of flack for defending certain people. It's like, that's literally just their job, you know? Their job is to make sure everyone gets an equal and fair. They're upholding the Constitution in one of the most difficult ways possible, which is to make sure everyone gets a fair trial, whether or not they are innocent, guilty, or whatever. So, you know, it's a job. It is a job. You can say it, you know, cast something on your character, whether you take or leave the job, but I really don't think it's as damning as people will say it. Like, I think it says something about your character if you refuse a job on a moral basis, but I don't think it's as damning of your character as a lot of people act like it is to accept a job, even with certain moral quandaries. When you're a lawyer, an actor, you know, whatever, a fucking baker making a cake, shit like that, you know, I think not doing the thing based on a moral objection is like, oh, okay, well, you're an upstanding person with rigid morality, but doing your actual prescribed job, the thing that you're supposed to do for a living with certain moral misgivings, I'm not nailing you to the fucking wall for that shit. You know, I'm not like, oh, Daisy Ridley, you should have known not to say yes to a Star Wars role when you had literally no other credits. Anyone would do
like that. That's not her fault. They all got amazing opportunities. The one thing though I would have done, and I think here's the thing. If it was Harrison Ford, so if let's say roles were reversed and Mark Hamill was the actor that was playing Han Solo and Harrison Ford was the actor playing Luke Skywalker, I strongly believe Harrison Ford would have not put up with Rian Johnson.
I think so too. I think
like if it was me, and okay, I get it. Mark Hamill has a wife, he has children, he has grandchildren. That was and you know, aside from like some voice acting roles and then being the trickster in The Flash, what else was Mark Hamill really do? Oh, he was also on that other show, but he signed a contract not knowing what he was getting into. He's like, I'm going to play Luke Skywalker again. That sounds like the best opportunity. And then you get handed this and you get shit. You know, you got the short end of the stick. Okay. And this is my excuse that I made for The Force Awakens. I'm like, okay, it's J.J. Abrams. He's not capable of creating anything original. He rehashed A New Hope. There's a lot of questions that need to be answered. We got 2 more movies to answer those questions. There's got to be a reason for why all of this stuff happened.
Yeah.
If I was Mark Hamill and I had to deal with Rian Johnson, how he says, we have him on camera, him saying like, I fundamentally disagree with everything that you're doing. If I was Mark Hamill, I would have walked off set and I would have said, fuck no. And I would have gone to the press and I would have said, no, I as a human being, I cannot do this. I don't care if you're going to sue me. I don't care. You know, it's not. And he would have had the entire fan base stand behind him. And that would have been before any of us saw The Last Jedi. For Mark Hamill to come out and say that. Yeah. I think that that's what he should have done, but he didn't. And there's got to be reasons for it. He could have been blacklisted from Hollywood and done all that, but it's like, this isn't the beginning of his career.
Yeah.
This is closer, and I hate to say that, but it's closer towards the finish of the race as compared to the beginning. He's not just starting, he's a seasoned actor. So I think I would have gambled it and I would have gone it because that's just who I am as a person. But I think he signed a deal during Lucas times. He could have signed a deal. You know, they all signed for their likenesses. That's why you're always going to see their toy. Well, you're not always going to see their toys anymore, but they signed their likenesses away, hands down. But could you imagine if he would have gone and like done an interview and said, I walked off the set because I fundamentally disagree with everything. It's like, you can recast me. I will not murder my character.
Yeah, that would have been, man. That would have been, if I was in that position, that would have been the hill I died on too.
Yeah, I would have said, I'm not doing it.
Yeah, I am going to run to the bathroom real quick, and then you can decide if you want to play Indiana Jones Mad Libs or After Dark Love Mad Libs. Mm-hmm. So
the chat does it.
I'll be right back.
Mm-hmm. I have to pee too. This isn't good. Okay, let's talk about this. He didn't say he fundamentally disagreed with Luke in The Last Jedi. Yes, he did. I just watched the interview for it. I was clipping stuff to put it in my videos. You can go watch. You can go find that interview and watch it. And he talks about how he fundamentally disagrees with all of the decisions Rian Johnson was making. I'm not making this stuff up. It came from his own mouth. I could be paraphrasing a little, but that's what he said. Let's see. Harrison wanted his character killed off. Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm saying if Harrison was in the way that Harrison Ford like deals with things, if Harrison Ford wants something, he usually gets it. He wanted his character killed off. He got it. He didn't in the originals because George said no, because George thought it was important. But it's just one of those things where people, it's fear. Fear plays a really big part in it. And it's like, again, you signed a contract, you got handed this, you're an actor, you have no creative control whatsoever. You just show up and you say the lines and you act. If that was my character and I had been like, this was a part of me and it had been a part of me since I started my career and I got handed the Last Jedi script, I would have said no. And there's plenty of actors or actresses that, you know, they still get work in Hollywood that are huge divas. And, you know, that they need this, they need this, they need this, and the studio will deal with it. I would have seen the script and I would have said, no, I'm not doing this. I would have gone to Kathleen Kennedy, said, no, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. I don't care if it's a breach of contract. You fix it or I'm going to the fucking press. you know, I would have given them a huge ultimatum. I was like, I don't care if you're going to sue me. I don't care if you're going to take my money. I'm Mark fucking Hamill, which is Luke Skywalker. You are not butchering this character. And, you know, the Star Wars fan base is the reason it is, or the reason it was the way that it was. And it still is the way that it, you know, we have people defending it, you know, we will defend it with our fucking lives. He should have done that.
Absolutely. And that's, you know, the thing is, and imagine how much goodwill that's going to engender with the fans pulling a stunt like that. And like you said, you know, he's close to the end of his career in the beginning. And part of that means you're established. Part of that means that, you know, again, you garner that level of goodwill with the fans. Another studio is going to pick you up knowing that they can cash in on that. Even if they plug you in a cameo spot, just as a fuck you to Disney, you know, or to Star Wars and whatnot, just to be able to tease it and get people to come see your movie just because Luke Hamill's in it saying fuck you, Kathleen Kennedy. You could have, I mean, I think he would have been fine. I think his career-wise, he would have been fine. And I'm with you. That's the hill I would have died on. So, Yep. Words. Did I miss any super chats while I was gone?
Not that I saw.
I don't think so.
I see that at the stars go. I know George doesn't like the sequels, but it's a rumor he dislikes The Last Jedi the most. Well, I mean, I grew up in the same town as him. I know people that know him. I know how he feels about Star Wars, or I should say Disney fan fiction wars.
Yeah. Yep. I think he's recently made his feelings about The Last Jedi pretty clear. Like, he hasn't been that cagey about them, especially since all this stuff has you know, wrapped up. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. Oh, did you decide? Do you want Indiana Jones or do you want...
chat. 1 for Indiana Jones, 2 for the adult one.
That's a good question. For the chat. 1 for Indy, 2 for adult Mad Libs, for Love Mad Libs After Dark. But yeah. All right. Let us know. Yeah, you're allowed to reject the sequels now, right? That's the new way to be about Star Wars.
1, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2. Okay, I see more 2, so let's do 2.
All right, that's the love one, right? That's pretty fun and spicy. Mr. Another says, what about Zendaya as Batwoman?
She's not gay. She's straight.
That's true. Not gay enough. Gotta have gay. Wait, is Anna old enough?
I'm 9, but it's okay.
Did you want to go pee before we do this?
It's okay. I can wait.
Okay, that's allowed, I guess. All right, so the story that we're writing today is All the Right Moves. So I'm not going to cheat and go ahead this time since I will have to be part of this. But it's All the Right Moves. So I'm assuming this is advice for how to, you know, be suave or something. So chat, if you're just joining us, if you haven't done Mad Libs with us before, basically it's me, Anna, and you guys are playing. So every third word I'll kick to you guys. Throw them in the chat. We'll pick whichever one we like the best to plug in. If someone sends in a super chat, it will automatically take the place of that suggestion unless it doesn't fit there, in which case we'll plug it in wherever it does fit in the chat. But if you do send a super chat with a suggestion, it does come in here. All the Right Moves. It probably is about Cecil Kryptonic G. All right. So Anna's going to get us started off with an exclamation. Any kind of exclamation. Anything you'd shout. Like if you were excited or surprised or stubbed your toe or something.
I want to say something super inappropriate.
Do it. It's fine. Inappropriate's totally encouraged.
Put daddy.
Daddy. All right. Oh, chat, you have an adjective. I should have told you that initially. So give us an adjective.
Chat, come up with adjectives.
Chat is working on adjectives. I get a person in the room, which means me, you, any of my cats, Jeff, or any of your animals, or anybody from the chat here. We do have some suggestions, though, from the chat. Beth says rhinoceros wieners, which, as we all know, is a plural noun. So I'm going to put that in the plural noun spot. Now, we also have, so thank you, Beth. We also, for Mr. Another, Raylo. That would be a noun. And so we'll throw that in the noun slot. All right, guys. You still send us those adjectives in the chat. And I'm going to pick Anna.
Curvy, slick, moist.
Actually, you know what? I'm going to pick Tulip as the person in the room.
Oh, your bubbles.
Tulip is going to be in the. Oh, and we have Mr. Another says Batwoman. That kind of sounds like a person in the room. Maybe I should take that one.
Yeah, put that one instead of Tulip. I don't want Tulip involved in this.
Oh, last time we got someone involved was Zach Blackfire. Actually, he was involved. Zach Blackfire was involved again recently. This happens. First time watching, I have no idea what's happening. Miles Cobble, we're doing Mad Libs, so we're just getting random words now, and we're gonna fill it into a story on all the right moves that we have written via random words. This was like everyone's road trip game, and it's fun to play with all of you guys. All right, so I'm gonna take that from my person in the room then, and since I was the only person in the room on here, which means that we're still pulling. Bless you, Anna.
Thank
An
you.
adjective from the main chat. I'm gonna go with Holocron Library Fox. Lecherous. That's a good adjective. Lecherous. Chat, you guys are gonna start working on a noun now. And since I haven't gotten to do anything yet, I guess I'll be a type of liquid. And let's see. Type of liquid. I mean, let's just go with piss, realistically.
Did you skip my turn?
I haven't had a turn yet because they took
Oh,
my
I thought you
person in the room.
did.
No, because they took my person in the room, and then
Well,
theirs
should
was an
it just
adjective.
be me, you, then the chat? So every third time?
Yes, but typically that's how it works, but all of the super chats were not for adjectives. They were for different words. So I had to
Can't
plug
you just
those
fill
in.
them in as we go then?
Well, I wanted to make sure I didn't forget them, so I wanted to put them in places. But
Okay.
so because it makes sense in my head. Don't worry about it. Just give me a noun.
Package.
Highly suggestive choice. Most excellent. The chat's giving us heels, yodeling pickle, jism, orifice, OJ scrimp juice, the Spanish Inquisition. That's a good one. Mead, baby butter. I kind of like orifice. Another one from Holocron Library Fox. Knocking out of the park today. Orifice sounds like fun. All right. Chat, you're going to hook us up with a past tense verb now. Oh, and Mr. Another says, raise Skywalker's lightsaber that Luke held on. Ha. All right. Can I just take lightsaber?
I think you can.
Is that acceptable? We'll just take lightsaber. I don't want to write that much, but thank you, Mr. Another. We appreciate it. We appreciate you. All right, but the chat was working on a past tense verb, and Anna is going to hook me up with an adjective.
Lubricated.
Lubricated. All right, I get a place. I'm always a fan of hell. It's always a solid place to be. And the chat, feminized, pegged, screwed, trolled. Oh, screwed. Let's go with screwed. Leo Vargas, thank you for this. Screwed. All right, chat, you're going to hook us up with with an adjective. So rock those adjectives. Anna, you also get an adjective.
Again?
Yes.
Anna is basically filth. I'm trying. This is supposed to be night. It's those type of
It's
things.
after dark, so it's supposed to be dirty.
Satisfied.
Satisfied. Nice. The way no one felt after watching Batwoman or Picard.
Yep.
All right. Satisfied. I have a noun. Kryptonic G. I'm taking microscopic from that. Microscopic. Thank you, Kryptonic G, for the suggestion. For noun, I'm gonna go with lip balm. Lip balm. All right, chat. You get a type of liquid. Have fun. Anna, you get a silly word. So this can be totally made up.
A silly word?
Yes, it can be a real silly word or a completely made up one.
Thingy-majig.
Thingy-majig. I like it. It's one of my favorite
I remember I would say like the thingy-majigger, the whatchamacallit, and my Irish friends had never heard that, and they like all looked at me, and then they all started laughing, and they're like, "That's so funny that you say that word." I'm like, because I guess they'd never heard it.
Yeah, that's hysterical. I guess that would be an American thing, wouldn't it be? I would assume. I wonder what like those kind of placeholder words are in other dialects. That'd be interesting to find out. All right. I have a plural article of clothing. Tighty whities. That's plural. All right. Let's see. The chat gave us coffee, chloroform, tears,
Chloroform,
formaldehyde, vomit, sea cow milk. Oh God, alcohol, a single tear, conditioner, oily discharge, rhino milk, liquid poo, mercury, R. Kelly's doo-doo butter. Holy shit, chat. Beth DeGoo gives us ketchup juice. So ketchup juice it must be. Thank you, Beth DeGoo. I was totally going to go with you, Anna, and pick chloroform. But ketchup juice it is. All right, for chat, you guys are going to get a noun. That'll be it for you guys, so pick well. Anna, we're each going to have a couple more, or at least you will. You get a past tense verb.
This is a big decision. Past tense verb.
It's a lot to ask.
Would this count? Because it depends on the words that, like conquest. Like, will that work as a past tense? Because that was my former conquest. Or those were my former conquests.
That'd be a noun, but you could do conquered.
No. Let me try it again. Past tense verb. Google something. My mind is like, this is a big decision.
That's fine. I'm going to read some of the nouns in the chat right now. We got fondue, big floppy donkey dick, bottle, chocolate sauce, chlamydia from Legeza, Gandalf's sword from Ryan Dyer, spread, sausage from Miles Caldwell. It's good. Beer, Madness Productions, always good. Penis, Leo Vargas, always a safe choice. Grandpa from Crotonic G. I'm going to take Legeza's chlamydia because that is funny to me. All right, so working on your past tense verb. Very important.
I'll put no, that's dumb. Sucked.
I like it. Good choice. All right, I have a color. It's a good gross color.
Vomit green.
That was the color I was actually thinking of. Vomit green. Beautiful. And Anna, you're going to finish with an adjective because we already got chlamydia from the chat. So this is the very last word of the whole story. No pressure.
It's adjective?
Yep.
Silky.
Nice. All right, so let me just plug these in, and I will be ready to read for us. So if you'd like to entertain the chat for just a quick second, I will be ready here.
They're like, Jesse keeps smirking. Purple, my favorite. Chlamydia is strong in this one. Chlamydia from the chat. We need protection here. Wiener brown.
Chat transmitted disease. Not all wieners are the same color. What is wiener brown? I guess it depends on your skin tone. Or are we actually talking about hot dogs now?
I don't know. That's more red.
I guess so. Very. This is silly. Wow.
I have a bad feeling about this.
I have a great feeling about this. Oh, God. Oh, gross. All right. Oh, gross. Super gross. Okay, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All the right moves. Daddy was all Batwoman could say. Her date that night was nothing short of lecherous. He had bought her a bouquet of fragrant rhinoceros wieners. Once he put them in some piss. Because where else would you keep your rhinoceros wieners? Oh God. Oh, once she put them in some piss, he helped her put on her Raylo. Can't leave home without it. They walked out to his pickup package where he held the orifice open for her. This just sounds like a really gross euphemism for sex in an alleyway.
Yeah.
He had made reservations at a lubricated restaurant in a fancy part of hell. They screwed all throughout dinner and had so many satisfied things in common. Like a true gentle lightsaber, he picked up the entire bill and noticed she noticed he left a very generous lip balm for the waiter. He asked if she'd like to go for a walk along the beach since it was a microscopic moonlit night. And she said, thingy-majig, as any sexy maiden does. They kicked off their tighty-whities, dipped their bare toes in the cool blue ketchup juice, and sucked for the first time. Gross. Finally, she whispered the words any vomit green-blooded man loves to hear. Is that a chlamydia in your pocket, or are you just silky to see me?
Oh.
Oh, God. Every man wants to know that he's appreciated for his chlamydia.
Yeah, I mean, every koala bear does.
Oh, every koala bear does. That's why we have the John Oliver Koala Bear Chlamydia Award in the Steve Irwin Animal Hospital. Do you know about this? How this came to be? By the way, the John Oliver Koala Chlamydia Award. Oh, it's one of my favorite stories ever. So Russell Crowe, when he was going through his divorce, and I guess maybe he and John Oliver had some sort of like fake feud to begin with, anyway. But when Russell Crowe was going through his divorce, he was selling off a lot of his memorabilia from set. So a lot of his costumes and props that he had kept because he didn't want his wife to get any of that in the divorce. And so one of the things he was selling off was his jock strap, like his singlet from the I think it was literally his jock strap from Cinderella Man. The jock strap he wore while filming that movie. And so he was selling it. And John Oliver paid some ridiculous amount of money for it just so he could pull it on a show and brag about how he owned Russell Crowe's jockstrap. So Russell Crowe then turned around and took the money that John Oliver had paid for said jockstrap and donated it to Steve Irwin's Animal Hospital, specifically to open the John Oliver Koala Chlamydia Wing. And that's one of my favorite celebrity stories ever.
Oh my God.
It's right up there with Charles Shaw selling $2 Chuck at cost, so that bitch don't get anything in the breakup. So those are the fun petty stories that I enjoy.
Weren't there rumors that Russell Crowe was dating Steve Irwin's widow, Terry?
Oh, there might have been, yeah.
I know he was really good friends with them.
That's probable.
But then they were saying, he was dating her, and I'm like, I don't think so. I think they were just really good friends.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Who knows what happens behind closed doors? I don't know. Yep, a jockstrap osmosis. Why? I don't know, but it's what happened. It was funny. But yeah, on that note, we had a super chat from Macy Van Dusen. Says, howdy, you two. Howdy, Macy. What's up? Welcome.
Hello.
Welcome to the show every Wednesday, 2 p.m. Pacific. So certainly if you can't catch us live, by the time we're done, you should be, depending on where you are, getting done your workday, and you can curl up on the couch, nice and cozy with some strong alcohol and listen to us. So
there you go.
But yeah, I think that's going to do it for today's show. We had a fun, another excellent time ranting, raving, being our general wonderful selves, and hashtag never go full Raylo. So
yeah, and hail the Fandominus. I know I'm not well with words today.
And you did great in Mad Libs, though. See,
Thank you.
There you go.
Thank you.
Some excellent words, some excellent word choices. All right, hail the fandom. Hail Anna, that Star Wars girl. Obviously, you guys know where to find her. If you're not subscribed already, make sure you get over there and sub. You can click her link; is right in the description here. And
next episode will be over on my channel. So on all the episode numbers, all the
odds are on yours, evens are on mine.
There you go. I was like, what am I
Word.
Second episode, even number, Jesse's channel. Odd numbers, my channel. So if you're ever confused about it, that's the way to remember it. Unless there's something crazy and we have to switch it, but I think we'll
let you know if that happens. And like I said, worst comes to worst, you just have to look up 2 channels if you pick the wrong one first. You'll probably.
And I know that a lot of people are not getting my notifications for anything. So and if you're not on Twitter, that's completely fine. I have a Discord, and so if that's where I post all of my updates and notifications. This stream is included. I'll post the link for Discord in the chat right there if you want to go and join the Discord server. And that way you can see like when I do videos and live streams and something like this event live stream that nobody gets notifications for, at least when it's my channel. I don't know about when it's on your channel.
No notifications on me either. So I do post to Twitter. And you can always check the channel, I guess is the next best way. You can also, guys, this is something fun to know. If you're not getting notifications for your favorite channels, it does take an extra second. But if you go into your YouTube settings, when you click subscribe or when you click the notifications bell, YouTube automatically sets it to personal, which means YouTube will suggest the videos from this channel when it thinks you want to watch them, which in the case of people like me and Anna is never. So if you go into your settings, you can change it from personal to all, which means you should theoretically receive all the notifications from that channel. Therefore, you never have to miss what we do. If you turn on all and you are still not getting notifications from us, this is something you need to tell us. Yes. Because this is a serious issue then that we need to then take up with YouTube, because it's further evidence of the algorithm purposely screwing our channels over.
Mm-hmm.
It's fun. Someone did say, I think Osmosis said, plug your vamp cover, your Vampirella cover. So do that.
Yes, my Vampirella cover is in demand right now. Let me get the link for that. And all the links to all my everything is on my Discord server too. So if you ever need to find me on something, that is the way to do it. Let me get the link for this. So yeah, I did my very first comic book anything, but it's my very first comic book cover ever. If you want to go support me and my artwork, there is a link for that right now. It's in demand on Indiegogo. And then once it's gone, it's gone. I don't know how long Dynamite is choosing to leave that up in demand, but that's where you can get it. And so thank you.
Very, very exciting. I'm excited for it. I'm excited for us. Yeah, Jeff and I got one of each cover, so I'm coming. So I'm very excited for all of that. And someone up there said they just discovered my Meant to Offend series. Well, because there's another one coming your way. It should be coming out tomorrow. As well as I think I'm going to get another sketch done for the end of this week as well. So my channel is going to be, ideally when I get on a good schedule, it'll be Meant to Offend Mondays and it'll be sketches on Fridays. So that is the goal. We will not. Jeff.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Keep going. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm less than $40 away from 44,000.
Woo!
On my campaign. So that's exciting.
That's exciting right now, and we'll get it there easily. Zach Blackfire, the Social Justice Wednesday videos are all on Patreon. So if you just at the $1 tier, $1 a month, you will get up to 4 Social Justice Wednesday videos every single month. There's a new one out today. Hashtag Social Justice Jesse. So Social Justice Jesse is all over Patreon still every Wednesday for just $1 a month. For $2 a month, you're getting a whole bunch of extra videos. If you hate Patreon, Subscribe Star has that as well. Just a couple quick updates from my side of the world. Neither Jeff and I are streaming on Monday for Memorial Day. We're taking the holiday. We're going to have our little 2-person barbecue. And neither Jeff and I are streaming later tonight. Generally speaking, on a week that I'm hosting the Matriarchy, I won't stream later. It just doesn't make sense. And Jeff is gearing up for his gigantic European High Council or Global High Council tomorrow 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern, and a reasonable hour if you're in the UK.
What time is it in the UK?
It's like going to be 4 p.m. in the UK.
Okay.
So that's taking the place of the High Council of pretty much almost all of Jeff's streams this week. It's going to be great. I think they're not doing the live show Thursday evening either because you'll have this massive High Council to catch up on. It's got Mauler on it, so it'll probably still be going when Jeff's normal
my God, that's going to be
stream
long.
is supposed to happen.
Oh, I almost forgot. Speaking of that, I have a big announcement for the Jack show. I don't know if it's going to be this episode, but do you know who Robert Frank is?
That sounds familiar.
I'm gonna pull him up. He said that he's gonna come on the Jack show.
Yay!
So I'll pull him up on Twitter. But so he's the guy with the big beard that talks about lifting.
Oh.
Let me find him. You're gonna laugh.
Well, now
he's fucking awesome. But he has agreed to come on the Jack show. We just have to get a date set down here. Share my screen.
Holocron Library Fox. It's going to be 11 a.m. Eastern, so it's going to be 4 p.m. UK. So 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. UK, and oh boy.
Oh, you know what? I just realized I have to reshare it so we can give me
That's
1
fine.
second. But I'm so excited about this. Okay, share audio. There we go. Okay, I'll bring this all the way back to the beginning. Okay, you ready for this, Jesse? Do you know who this is? Have you ever seen this video?
I don't. I haven't seen the video.
I already liked him, but then he made like a post about he's just like, the world sucks, all this sucks, but you know what could be worse? I could be a fan of The Last Jedi.
Ah, yes.
And I was like, oh my God, I liked you before, but now I love you. Okay, so here he is.
Oh, let me see this.
We're buying a coffee, and I'm standing online waiting to pay, and all of a sudden, I felt somebody standing right behind me, like right on my back, breathing down my neck. So I got pissed. I spun around, and I was like, yo, could I get my 6 fucking feet? It was the hottest chick in the world. No mask on, by the way, gave no fucks. And she goes, oh, don't tell me a big, strong man like you with all those muscles is scared of this shit. So I was like, yo, could you say that again? She goes, don't tell me that a big, strong man like you with all those muscles is scared of this shit. So anyway, long story short, I just banged her. I'm in the back seat of the new whip, christening this shit. And the best part about it is my fucking coffee is still hot. 3-pump chop, baby. 15 minutes ago, I was just...
So he's crazy.
Oh my God, this guy is amazing.
The best way possible. So he's going to come on the show, on the Jack show.
Shit. Oh my God, that's going to be so much fun. Is that tomorrow?
Yes. Oh, here, this one's good too. Do you mind if I play this one too?
Go for it.
Okay. You'll like him after this one. This one's funny.
You know, with all the new censorship going on social media right now, with major creators getting their YouTube channels, Twitter pages, Facebook pages deleted, videos are being taken down mysteriously. Last night, I was like, you know what? Let's stop beating this horse that we've been talking about, the same topic for 10 straight weeks. Let's give them some old school Robert Frank motivation. Let's give people a little kick in the ass. Let's go old school on them and pump people up. But note taken, everyone. People do not like to be told to work harder. They don't like to be told that they have to do something about their situation. Anytime that they're smacked in the face with reality, anytime they get a whole syringe's worth of real life, they get triggered. You know why? Because this generation is lazy and they don't want to work. Most of them, not all of them, most of them. They're waiting for their next handout. They're waiting for their next stimulus check. And then when they get the stimulus check, all they do is go on Facebook and bitch about how little it is. Oh, what am I going to do with $1,200? $1,200 ain't shit. I can't pay nothing with that. Where's my next check? Where's my next check? Motherfucker, don't you realize you shouldn't even need a stimulus check? If you were doing your job, if you were doing what you needed to do, you wouldn't even qualify for a stimulus check. Stop waiting for your next handout and actually do something. I'm going to give you a number. $2,740. Remember that number. That's what you need to make every single day to be a millionaire. To make $1 million a year, that's the number. Hit it. I don't care what you got to do. Do it. And you're like, oh, Robert Frank, he's on his high horse. He's got millions of followers on social media, and he sits by his pool in his multi-million-dollar home drinking martinis every afternoon, telling me what to do. Wrong. I live in a one-bedroom apartment to this day. And I remember the days of having to mow the lawn, rake the leaves, take out the garbage, do the dishes, wash the car, just to get $10. And you notice I didn't say clean my room because I didn't have a fucking room until I was 22 years old. My father worked 2 jobs and my mom's disabled. Tell me more about hard fucking times. People, you need to stop blaming the president, blaming your teachers, blaming your guidance counselors, blaming your significant others for the situation you are in. Next stimulus check, go out and buy yourself a mirror. That's who's responsible.
Oh my God, fucking love it.
He's fucking awesome. So he tweeted, I think he tweeted that, and I retweeted, please come on the Jack show. And he's like, he messaged me, he's like, yo, what's the Jack show? And I was like, come on, please.
Yes. Oh my God. So that's tomorrow. You guys start at what, 8 o'clock?
Yes, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I don't know if he's going to be on tomorrow's show. I haven't heard back from his manager yet, but he has agreed to come on the Jack show.
Amazing. So that'll be sometime in the near future. So make sure you guys check that out. I think because of Jeff not doing his show, I may be going live earlier tomorrow. So I'm actually going to try to be on before the Jack show so y'all can catch both. Hooray! I know Thursday's a lot of choosing because usually there's the Bullshitters podcast and then the Jack show and then my show and whatnot. So no choosing. Have it all. Get up early for the European High Council. Check out Mindless Entertainment, the early weekend wrap-up edition, and then definitely check out the Jack show, especially if it's possible this man could be popping on, or just any week because the Jack show is always a fuck ton of fun. So it is definitely one of the most fun shows ever of all time, easily.
Yeah. And I missed last week's when, not the last, was it the last week or the week before? When Cecil puked. Oh, I missed it.
Oh, God. I just know last week I know there was an issue with like Ethan getting flagged and stuff like that. Because wasn't Ethan hosting last week?
Then if it was on, my days are so mixed up. If it was on Ethan's show, then yeah. Yeah, it was. So I missed last week's.
Yeah. Well, Beth is going because her hamburgers are ready, but I think it's about time for us to go as well. So
yes, this show is supposed to be maybe 2.5 hours max, and we have passed that. We like to keep it a little bit shorter so that way it's easier for people to rewatch it. Well, it's not saying that it's easier, but it's more time
packed,
yes.
keep everything fun and fresh every single time.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so we are going to say goodbye to you and just remind you to hashtag never go full Raylo, and also beware of the Twitch deer.
Yes.
Beware. It is out there. It is real. It might be hiding under your bed right now, letting you know that you're racist and support the patriarchy. So
I think we got to get an Elmer Fudd meme saying it's deer season.
Oh, we need deer season. Oh my God. Yes. Someone needs to make that.
It's not wabbit season. It's not duck season. It's deer
season. Oh man. My dear girlfriend is waiting. Bye, Sloppy Joe. All right. Bye everyone else. Oh, and super chat before I forget, there was a super chat from Rosetta Allen that says, love you, darling. Love you too, Rosetta. Thank you so much for the super chat. Wouldn't want to miss that. And it was a pleasure, all of you guys. And until next time, may the force be with you. I guess I should say God